Should be live. Alright. Just waiting for the game to load and we can jump right in. Alright, we're in. Welcome back. It has been a bit. It's only been a week. But I've done a lot of things. Yeah. Oh, whatever.
Verifying our current position.
Alright. I successfully got to Adventure Rank 19, so we were able to continue the story. And I also was able to get a couple characters up to level Ascended to their second tier. Not all of them, though. That's like Noel, for example. I got Aether to level 40. That's because I'll be using him the most during the main story. And then everyone else is ascended within the main team, which I will now switch to.
So heavy.
As much as we enjoy this awesome team, back to the story we go. Alright. And I don't have a lot of experience books because I put them all on him. So, we'll be jumping to the story with 3 level 20s and a level 40. To the winery! Jumping right in. Let's get through this story. Yep, mostly been doing dailies over the course of the week. Wasn't able to do much though. Just getting a bunch of primo gems. I now have like at least 22 fates, which is good. And then I did do a 10 pull at one point for this, and I think I got the bell, unfortunately. So that was unfortunate. Anyway, continuing the story.
The Abyss Order. Enemies of the human race. Even the underground networks rarely come across any information on them.
I know everything I need to know about them.
With that said, it's a bit of a hassle, but I managed to dig up a few clues.
Really? That quickly? You really are well connected, Master D. Luke.
Come to think of it, Mr. Big Animo God Barbados, why exactly do you need the help of mere humans?
A valid question.
How do I put it?
I'm a weak ass bitch. I'm old and have lost all my powers. I am too drunk to deal with this shit. Any of those help you?
The Seven, as people now know them, were once known as the Seven Archons. Each Archon presides over their own part of Tevat. That is the role the Archons play.
You have failed miserably.
Only in performing this duty can we attain power. But I don't like the idea of ruling Mondstadt, and I don't feel Mondstadt would really like it either.
Ah. So he also agrees he failed miserably, but also because he didn't want to rule.
Go forth and establish a city of freedom without rule. We have not forgotten Barbados' wish for Mondstadt.
Problem with that is that there's no way to do that in a group of humans. There's always has to be someone in charge. For example, you are in charge. Even in a democratic society, someone has sort of higher authority than others. Of course, that's why group votes are a thing, and you can overrule that person. But for the most part, that's why we push for one person.
Jean, you're such a devotee. Maybe someone got a little too free and is just too lazy to care.
So lazy to not understand why you can't have humans in a group and not have a leader.
However it may have come to be, I haven't been back to Mondstadt for an extended period of time. Without a doubt, I am now the weakest Archon among the 7.
Given the state of Genshin, the 5 nations that we were able to play at current time, this is correct. Even Nihida, the Dendro Archon, is stronger than him, despite being where she is. Her connection through the internet that they forced her to create gives her a lot of power still. And yet you almost sound proud of that. I guess that's why you're god to the City of Freedom. Yeah, no rules means no power. Maybe that's why the Fatui are bullying us, because they think no one really is in charge.
Aw, you flatter me.
Oh, such a humble god. Is it a blessing or a curse?
Oh, it's definitely a curse.
But we digress. Let's get back to the topic at hand. The common enemy of all mankind.
So we universally agree with that, and yet people still work with them.
We have tracked the Abyss Mage to the vicinity of the winery.
So they're near your home. Do we understand? Are we reading this correctly? Did we hear him correctly? They're within the vicinity of his home.
I cannot stress enough how important it is to not let it escape.
Alright. So once again, I have to stress the issue with where this plot went. I understand that we need to know where the Abyss Mages went so we can track them down. But the way they went about it was that D-Luke had to go search for his connections to figure out that an Abyss Mage or Abyss creature is within the vicinity of his very own home. They could have either just had him been informed of activity around the winery, which means that we could just immediately just came here as like a golden ticket, or we could have used someone else and then have them be found in a different location. I don't know. It's weird that they're within like eyeshot of his home, and he had to like go search out connections to figure that out. Alright, I'm not gonna teleport in here. Laziness on my end too. Everyone's lazy. Hey look, an Abyss Mage. Defeat the assailants.
No escape!
Dodge this!
You're in for a little shock.
Free!
Let's spark things up a little.
Dodge this. Windblade.
Huh? What's this? After the Abyss Mage was defeated, a certain energy dispersed from its body. It seems that energy was being used to cut off the connection between me and Dvalin.
Yeah.
Do you know of Storm Terror's lair?
No.
But Jean and Master Diluc are no doubt aware of it. After Dvalin woke up, he took the ancient ruins as his lair. As it was with the storms that previously cut Mondstadt off from the outside world, the entrance to the ruins is also sealed by a special barrier. But now, as the energy dispersed from the Abyss Mage, I was able to read the rhythmic flow of how the barrier's magic was woven.
So by finding a singular Abyss Mage, you've MacGuffined our way into the bad guy's lair, is what you're saying.
I must admit, it sounds even more horrendous than a chorus of hilly churls. But it should be enough to let us break through the storm barrier and reach Storm Terror's lair.
Which means we're going to confront Dvalin? I'm fine with that. Jean is the one who wishes to avoid any direct confrontation.
My biggest issue is that we are only dealing with Abyss Mages. I understand later on we get like even more like Abyss creatures like the Abyss Herald and such. I wish one at least appeared here because it feels so... I know this is the introduction, but you're also, when you're taking over the world or trying to destroy it or whatever the Abyss have in mind, you sort of want your leaders, or at least your highest people in command of operations like this. Mondstadt is, even from first glance, yes, is arguably the easiest one to take down, short of Klee, but still.
No. When there are no other options left, it is my responsibility to alter our course of action. If slaying him is our only choice, I will gladly become the knight that leads the charge.
You wouldn't gladly do that. You would readily do that. There is a difference.
Fortunately, we have yet to need to go that far.
By that, you mean...
I mean that the Holy Liar is not our trump card.
Then why the fuck did we grab it? I know why we grabbed it. I'm just joking.
Our real trump card? The Traveler, of course.
Right, my mysterious ability to purify, which will never come up again in the entire story. Why did we have this power in the beginning and it never came up again?
The Traveler?
It's because I can fight.
Well, you could say that. You're definitely a force to be reckoned with. But you have a much more precious forte. The impurities in the tears and the curse that binds Dvalin belong to the same maleficent power.
Can we counter abyssal power? No, that's different. The power, the thing plaguing him isn't really abyssal. Oh, maybe it is. What was the dragon's issue again? The one that Dvalin fought? It may have been abyssal energy, but even still.
Which means...
You tone-deaf bard! Don't you see how crazy this is?
He's a god. He's there by definition crazy until proven otherwise.
You've seen what Devon
Or
is
is
like
it
when
reverse?
he's ticked off. She'll be swallowed whole before she even gets to lift a finger.
Yeah, weren't we just talking about how I can fight?
Hey. Nice plan. Worth a shot.
I am with you, honorary knight.
Oh, so we just need to fight monsters from the abyss and a dragon. No pressure or anything.
No pressure at all.
Humans aren't without their strengths. Let's go.
And so, epic actions of brave heroes finally leads to this 11th hour.
And there she goes. Go to hurdle. Oh, that's why. That's why they wanted us here. It's in the vicinity of the winery, because this is the literal direct path towards the Stormbearer Mountains. So here's what I would have done. Have Eula track down the Abyss. Have D-Luke do his connections at the same time, and they find that there's a Abyss Mage or an Abyss Herald spotted nearby, and then have Eula report in, or even defeat an Abyss Herald before we get there. Sort of introducing her to the story. Like I said, when you if it's a self-contained story, this was fine. But when you want to do a wider scope and you want to introduce more characters later on, you sort of need to set them up a bit. Otherwise, you just made a character and then they're just sitting there. That, or make the stories that they're a part of actually stick around. You know, like the Albedo quests. Albedo would be more important. Eula would be more important. But nope, we don't get to see those stories.
You're in for a little shock.
Having a lot of issues with damage here. Should I give in and start adding these? So we do have these, which increases damage. I guess I'll add these. I'm hesitant to do so because they're garbage. Hello.
Windblade! Freeze! Oh, so sorry.
No, I don't want to fight him, actually. Skipping all the enemies. I'll fight these two.
What's the hurt?
Come a little closer.
And then the barrier.
It's a storm barrier. It looks so dangerous.
Leave it to me. Although this wooden lyre is all I have. I don't need the lyre to break through this kind of storm wait, what is that?
Enemy attack! Prepare yourselves!
An enemy attack of hilly churls. Now, why would the hilly churls be attacking us?
passage will need to be cleared before I can begin my performance. Generally speaking, such chores are not the concerns of the performer himself.
Wait, what's going on? There shouldn't be any hilly trail camps in the vicinity of Storm Terror's lair.
Come a little closer. You're in for a little shock. You've been a naughty boy.
Yeah,
Go,
it's
go,
pissing me off.
Barret Buddy!
Okay, this thing is still alive. I need you gone. I'm getting real tired of you. Thank you.
Don't push your luck.
Get rid of that shield. Give me that.
Surrender and I'll be gentle. Come a little closer. Blitz.
Really? That's all?
Freeze! This moment will be frozen in time.
The hilly trolls usually do not venture into areas with high elemental concentrations. It puts a heavy burden on their bodies.
Interesting information. Why are we being told this now?
The Abyss Order must be manipulating them behind the scenes, yet they shouldn't have been able to determine that we would come. They're presumably spreading their forces to halt our plans.
Without further ado, I suppose I can play faster if my only audience is the wind.
All of 2 seconds.
It actually opened. You're not entirely useless, Tone Deaf Bard.
This is it. We are now entering Storm Terror's lair.
So my issue with that, right there. I know I keep finding issues. They probably should have like had a longer song. Well, a lot of this game, especially later on when they like delve into like events regarding musical talent and other cool core things like fashion and certain cultures, I feel like this would have been a prime opportunity for Venti to play an actual song. And actually like show him struggling to stop the barrier, opposed to 2 seconds of playing a song and he's just poof gone. Something he could have done mid-fight. It would have shown that he's weaker than Dvalin outright, because this just what he just did tells me, oh yeah, Venti could stop him no problem because he just obliterated a barrier without issue. And so yeah, I think that they should have made that a longer sequence and maybe use an actual song to build something up, maybe a song about him and Dvalin or something.
Watch yourselves. Let's move.
We hear a lot that Venti and Dvalin are friends, but it would be cool in that moment. That would have been the perfect moment to have Venti sing a song or like play a song that was very reminiscent of their relationship, and even like if you wanted to go the extra mile, show scenes of them being together while he's playing it. Adding stakes and tension is what I'm really asking for. Stakes, tension, and power scaling. Show that Venti could, because like blowing a barrier in 2 seconds, Venti could do this all himself if he wanted to. With that level of like power that he just released. Unless that barrier was bullshit and we could just walk through it.
This is the front gate to Storm Terror's lair. The gate is enormous compared to us.
I do like this location a lot.
Paimon wonders how Dvalin gets in there with a body that huge.
Save for the wind current
He
that
doesn't
somehow
walk in.
still
He
exists.
Oh. You do have a point.
My biggest issue about this place is only after the fact. After we've defeated Dvalin, the wind currents are still here, which makes it annoying to get around. I would much prefer the wind currents vanish after you defeat Dvalin. Making this a labyrinth at first, yes, but like later on, you could just like climb it.
It's stuck.
Why are you being mean to each other?
Hey, check out that roof! Is there a giant hole in it?
Yes.
I suppose we could make use of that wind current.
Let's make a detour then. Heading up!
Let's make a detour then. Heading up.
Why are we... Let's...
Do you think there will be abyss mages hiding in the ruins? Either way, if we do run into one, we will let the victorious Master Diluc do the...
Do not underestimate them just because I have beaten one of them before. I'm not boasting. I'm simply saying there is more to the Abyss Order than a few mages.
You don't say. Shame.
Correct. That's why I tagged along after all. Well, that and also for your safety. Why am I so diligent? Too diligent for a poet, in fact.
So says the person that made zero effort to search for the dragon tears and drink in the tavern all day. Paimon doesn't get it. What part of you is remotely diligent?
That is a good point.
Windblade!
I was really that close? Jesus. Nope. That's good. Alright. Made it to this part. Go up there. I like this music.
Look, a wind current. It might lead us to the top of the tower.
Hold on. You need to get a map going here. Nice. As you can see, I accidentally ran into one of the oculi, unfortunately. Oh, was I supposed to just like go in? Can I even go in? Supposed to take us to the top of the tower. Okay.
Oh, we can't advance any further. The ruins seem to be guarded by ancient seals.
Ancient seals.
Is this the work of Dvalin?
No. These ruins were once part of an ancient city. Dvalin just happens to be nesting in these ruins for now. These ruins even predate the existence of the Four Winds.
We don't get a lot of that history.
Mondstadt is a city without a ruler. However, before it was ruled over by a tyrant.
Oh, wait, no, this was the old Lawrence castle.
Anyway, I'll sing you that story when we have a chance in the future.
The markings on this seal. If my archaeological knowledge is not mistaken, this appears to be a light
actuator. I like how they cut him off. I didn't do anything to.
If we retrieve and reintegrate all the parts, we should be able to get it working.
Okay.
We should be close to completing the ceremony for this actuator. Let's put the last part back and see.
I've unlocked the battle pass. And Spiral Abyss, which we'll be doing soon. Oh, because I made it to 20. I was like, why did I just suddenly get this? Oh no, the world just got harder. Oh no. I love how the world just got harder. I'll take that. And that. Domains now. Weapon Ascension. Are these... Okay. And then this. And then battle. That'd be it, actually. Okay. Okay. Written of leaves.
Everything's ready. Let's go.
Challenge progress. Floor 4, chamber 3, tuned by Calling.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Oh, they turned these. You just have to complete Spiral Abyss to get them. That's hilarious.
Let the magic begin!
These didn't appear before.
Once, there was a glorious kingdom established among the heavens. From that kingdom came a crowned heir, tasked with seeking out the Genesis Pearl from the Kingdom of Darkness. The first crowned heir began her journey of seeking the Pearl. But she was deceived, and the memory of her noble origins faded. She now believed that she was the queen of the Kingdom of Darkness. But take heart. A second crowned heir had already taken up the path where the first had stumbled. This is the story of your journey, of your tale to be told.
So that story is interesting because it implies that that's sort of like what's happened to us, but it's sort of, there's a lot of differences, and it's unclear if that's actually just someone else's story. Anyway, these are all really good, and I will try my best to get all of them at some point. The Battle Pass. I will eventually try to keep, I'll try to do these as I go along. Of the weapons that I would like to have, if I got Venti, I would like to get the Viridescence. The Black Sword's really good, Serpent Spine's always good. I usually use Solar Pearl for Ningguang. Deathmatch for literally any DPS spear holder. And then I've never really gotten any of these. 20. These are all interesting. This one buff, skill, and burst. And then crit rate. Okay. Unlock that. Perfect shot. From Leeway Harbor. My dude, I quite literally have never been there. That's not true. In my other account, yeah, but in this account, no. I don't know why they gave me a Leeway quest. This will also take me to Leeway, but somehow give me a Mondstadt key, so I'll end up doing that probably near the end. There's this one, which we'll do after I complete the main story. I intend to start doing a lot of the exploration, and then we'll round it back into doing quests for the characters, for the Mondstadt characters specifically, which would be like ones like these. And yeah. Okay, so I need to grab this. I have a thing. So I like how it says like we can't progress further, but if you look at it, there's really nowhere else to go anyway. It's more like we're basically summoning Dvalin opposed to going further into the dungeon. No.
Looks like we're right. There are 3 more halos circling the tower.
Which means there are 3 more corresponding light actuators to activate. I can see one from here.
Point is to go around, collect the light things, and then turn on the actuators.
The rest must be scattered within the ruins around here. Let's go find them.
Why did Dvalin pick a place filled with puzzles and seals as his lair? Doesn't he get annoyed coming back home?
He doesn't walk in. He flies in.
We did this already. Why are we repeating this? This is a conversation that had outside. Why are we repeating things? This is the 3rd instance of repeating. First of all, like this is an actual conversation that's repeated, but then Venti for twice repeated after Paimon and like sort of like mocked him or mocked her. I'm like, why are we doing this?
You do have a point.
I get the impression that they got lazy near the end, because not only did 3 instances of like a repeat of any level of information, or like ignoring the fact that Venti just straight up mocked. They didn't even know. It's like they couldn't decide who should say the line, and so they had both of them say the line. Okay. Thankfully, the light actuators aren't hard to see. Like it's like literally right next to it. So this one will be easy. Ooh. Oh wait. Oh, this might be. There might be more to it. Hold on. I see. This needs multiple actual. Oh. They need 3 actuators each. Okay. I was wrong. Like I said, I like the Storm Terror Mountains music. This is very nice and soothing. But I will say this is another instance where you would have in the story where you would have multiple characters, like switching between multiple characters, having them do things would have made this more interesting.
Wow, this light actuating ceremony does work magic. It looks like one of the 3 halos above has now become solid ground. Let's start looking for the next puzzle.
Alright, I'm just going to teleport to the top of this again and then jump off again. The next one's over there. Thankfully they don't. We're high enough that the wind won't knock me down. Okay, so I see 1, 2, 3. They're all on the ground around it. They made this simple enough. I understand that. I feel like if they wanted to make this a more complex puzzle, that's when you definitely would have had like characters like separated. He's like, these are ruins. Oh, come on. Oh, I want my thing. Give me my thing. Give me my thing. God damn you.
With the wind!
No one escapes my sight.
Dodge this!
Okay, I need to take care of it. I love how they introduced Dendro so early on with these fuckers.
You're in for a little shock.
Cool it!
Come a little closer. You're in for a little shock. Come a little closer.
Oh no.
Let's spark things up a little.
Freeze! Wind blade!
Please. Give me that.
It seems 2 of the halos have become solid ground. One more and the seals at the top of the tower will be broken.
Considering what's going on here, we're supposed to take it that this is a big threat to Mondstadt with the Dvalin, and it is. They're looking at this winds, this is dangerous. I don't understand why the story devolved into Jean not using her allies and joining us. I understand Diluc's like distrust of the Knights, but like I'm still wondering where that comes from, because the people in charge are like actually, at least the ones currently in charge, are actually actively like his friends, I would say. Jean, he respects Jean, and she's currently in charge, and yet every time she's not on screen, he's like, Knights of Favonius, so inefficient. And I'm like, is your issue with Varka? Because he ain't around. He took the other half of the captains. I think I imagine they're all going to be dicks or something, or they're all going to have an issue with Diluc when they all return. Because those must be the people he's like having an issue with. I just don't understand why it turned. Why it like. I don't know. I might be asking too much. A little bit more, like if like City of Freedom, everyone coming together to free this dragon of its issues. Bring along some more knights, like bring Eula to have her do the tracking. Bring Klee for some reason to like help with stuff. Bring Albedo for other investigation stuff. Have him like deduce the puzzle as well. Like have a figure out where certain aspects like make it, because this place is massive. Like they saved this whole location, and I feel like you could have turned this final arc into a grander event. That might just be me though. Where'd my current go? It was just here. There it is. Okay, so the thing is over there to the left of us, and then all of the things are scattered over here. This is probably the hardest one to deal with. It might not be, but it looks like it would be. Or maybe it's the easiest just by like grabbing. It's like the second easiest. Grab them, put them in, ignore all the enemies. Oh no, I see an issue. Like, lock some of these behind a domain. That would have been interesting. Hello. Oh look, this one's behind rocks. Oh, I don't want you. Thank you. There's all three. The story of the Mondstadt one isn't horrible, but I feel like they could have gone a little bit grander in scale. At least, like, involving the other three main characters that were with us from the beginning. Like, have them join us as well and, like, doing these things. This event feels so isolated compared to, like, the other endings.
It's done! Paimon thinks we should venture onward from here.
I'm thinking about turning these adventures into songs after we're done.
Okay.
Hopefully, this song will be sung for years to come by the people of Mondstadt, just like the legend of Vanessa.
I have loved that song since I was small. How are you feeling today, Honorary Knight?
What?
I am completely prepared and fully confident that we can do this.
Okay.
Even Master Diluc accompanied us to the very end.
This has, like, this, like... We did so much together, but we didn't. Like, I can count on one hand, like, literally 2 digits of, like, them doing things. These two... So, Diluc found the Abyss Mage, okay? We figured that out. Alright, and then they helped us... sort of, quote-unquote, helped us turn on this thing. We only really came here together, like, they hid us from our own mistakes, which was to steal the lyre, which is basically Vinci's fault. There was no real grand adventure in this, and at least for their part. Honestly, I wish, like I said, the story is not bad, it just could have gone further. Introducing more of the winds, having the Abyss Herald show up, having more involvement of, like, the enemy.
Despite only being an accidentally involved bystander.
You shared your secret with me, and I only returned your trust to the same extent.
What about Vinci?
It's freedom.
Freedom?
When you first arrived at Mondstadt, did no one tell you that Mondstadt is the city of freedom?
No. Paimon did. Quite literally.
She really is a child of freedom.
It was Paimon, though, but yeah, I guess, yes, Amber did say so as well.
Mondstadt is a romantic city without the reign of a king. And its citizens enjoy the most freedom amongst the 7 nations. I hope the dragon that once protected Mondstadt will soon be free too. No one should have deceived him by telling him that Mondstadt betrayed him. And no one should have told him that it was his eternal duty to protect the city. He has the right and freedom to choose his own way of life.
Venti?
Well then, traveler, may the thousands of years of wind that have blown through Mondstadt go with you. Just like the last time, I shall channel animal energy for you.
Yes, that was obvious. What?
Oh, no wonder you said his voice sounds familiar.
I thought we already deduced this information. Was I... Domains. Why is this in What? This is in Japanese. This is some like kind of hieroglyphs. Once you reach Adventurer's rank 40, you can quick challenge locked trounce domains through your adventure rank in single player mode. So once I get to 40, I get to do any of them. Shadow into the world, scattered ruins, realm of beginnings, Fury workshop, end of the 1-year Garthymia, Yarkami Islands, beneath the dragon dweller, enter the gold house. Yep, and I take it these are gonna have. Yep, that's weird. And then the Abyss Mage. Okay. I'm going to heal after I get this. What is this? Okay. Feed you. Alright, time to confront Storm Terror. An hour in. Ooh, Hades 2 is now in early access. That's cool. Alright. We're going in.
Look! There are 2 shiny spots on Dvalin's back! They appear to be poisonous blood clots that have coagulated on his wounds.
They
The
meant.
Abyss Order must have cursed the wounds. That's what's corrupting Dvalin's mind. To save Dvalin, we're going to have to get rid of those blood clots. Aim for those blood clots.
Just aiming is bad. Get back here.
Dvalin is getting away, but I'm familiar with his tactics. Just
Ow.
hold on a bit longer.
Ow! I'm sort of dying up here. Maneuverability is not real. Okay, up and down is real. Ow.
I'll extract and condense the pure animo from the shots being fired. Shattering them will create acceleration currents.
Why did we...
I can't control where they will appear, so keep your eyes peeled.
Okay. Ow. Okay, go through it. Ow. I feel like this is a bit clunky. And you gotta really feel yourself slow down. Like, that should be like coming at us a little bit faster than this. Like, you can, like, a lot of speed really isn't what I'm feeling here. I don't feel like I'm really traveling anywhere. Oh. And there he goes again. I hate these things. I wish I could shoot these things. Where's your things? Those things are flying real quickly, but we're like incredibly slow. Like, oh, you gotta slowly line yourself up. It doesn't feel good. Finally.
I'm sorry this is hurting you. Hang on.
Hey, look, it actually looks like there's distance being traveled here. How did they get here? Were they also flying? Where is this, by the way? I'm just so confused.
Now we can fight Devon
All right.
on equal grounds.
Yay, I get to play Venti.
Bard is here to help.
See, this is like a good usage of multiple characters.
Even after hundreds of years without use, Dvalin's teeth and claws are still very dangerous.
Oh.
That was our chance. Aim for the tainted blood clot on his neck.
No. Gotta get up. Gotta get up.
Cool it. Disappear.
Let's play. Yeah. Wouldn't gliding be faster?
This is Dvalin's ace in the hole. Celestinum Finale Termini.
This dragon has strange taste when it comes to naming things.
I named it for him just now.
Seriously?
Well, anyway, let's ride the wind currents and stay away from the breaking platforms. The The energy flooding out from the fridges will be hot. Be sure to watch your step. Now is our chance. Aim for the tainted blood clot on his neck. Brace yourselves. No escape. Yeah. 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 Now is our chance. Aim for the tainted blood clot on his neck. Let's play.
There we go.
This place is gonna collapse!
It's been a while since we flew like this together. Huh, Dvalin?
Just now. Why? Why did you not ask me to protect you like the last time?
Me not wanting you to listen to the Abyss Order doesn't mean that you have to listen to me. Freedom, if demanded of you by an Archon, is really no freedom at all.
Is this the power of the Animo Archon? But I am no longer part of the Four Winds.
Even if that's so, you still protected us regardless. Now spread your wings of freedom and go with my blessing.
And so, the Storm Terror threat was quelled. I clarified the misunderstanding to the citizens of Mondstadt, and let them know that they are safe. To them, it seems Storm Terror attacked Mondstadt out of nowhere, and then vanished just as quickly. They must be finding the whole ordeal very confusing.
However, winds change their course. Someday, they will blow towards a brighter future.
So, Dvalin left? One day later. What happens a day later? Why
You
is...
guys are back! The honorary knight returns triumphant. Yep, we're back from tussling with Dvalin.
It took us a day to get back?
You just returned yesterday, right? Jean got back first, and she told us all about your heroic deeds.
Okay.
I wonder if I'll ever get an opportunity like that.
You actually should have been there. Honestly, all the characters introduced should have been involved in the threat.
That doesn't come into it. You guys deserve all the credit for how you resolved this crisis. When I brought you into the city that day, I was just doing my duty as an outrider. You're welcome. But have you been waiting for us here this whole time? Of course not. Just because I'm not out on the front line doesn't mean I don't have work to do. In fact, I'm dealing with the aftermath of the crisis as we speak.
Why are there so many defenses? Why are they all Hilly Trail based?
Aftermath? Here? What happened in Mondstadt? While Master Jean was away, the monsters lurking nearby made a coordinated attack on the city.
That sounds interesting. Why couldn't you also included that into the story instead of made an aftermath?
Fortunately, we weren't completely taken by surprise. I detected the Hilly Churls were moving closer to the city a while back. Oh yeah! Paimon remembers. When we first met, you were clearing out one of their camps. Exactly. And if we hadn't started making preparations back then, Mondstadt would be in much greater danger by now.
Why?
I know. It's strange. Hilly Churls aren't usually capable of coordinating like this. Our best guess is that the Abyss Order is behind it. They've taken over the Hilly Churls? Good thing we saved Dvalin, or they might have taken him too. That's right. And since I'm the Outrider, it's up to me to keep eyes on the Abyss Order from now on. I'm sorry. You should be celebrating your victory, not listening to all this somber talk. I promised to take you out for some sticky honey roast, didn't I? Before everyone got caught up in the Storm Terror crisis. There's no time like the present, right? You guys hungry? You bet! You may have forgotten till just now, but it's been on Paimon's mind this whole time.
Awesome, let's go! It's been way too long since I last ate a sticky honey roast myself. Wait for me at Good Hunter. I'll be right there. I just have to clean up here real quick.
So looking at this, they outright made a whole setup for, hey, the monster's attacked. They could have just said it and passed it by, but they went out of their way to do. Why didn't they do something with this? I feel like it would have been a perfect opportunity to switch the perspective to like Amber and like the other knights and have like a full scale fight here. Like not even like a full scale, it's like a good skirmish at the front gate, and have like show desperation.
Ta-da!
Oh yeah, I have a Barbara now.
Ta-da! Barbara's here. Leave the healing to me. I will... Ta-da! Barbara's here.
I've been distracted by a Barbara. But yeah, I just feel like I'm not... The story was okay, the themes are good, but they could have gone bigger. And I feel unsatisfied with the ending. Is what is my issue. Yeah, add her to it now.
We can do this.
I have a plan for this one. As you can see, I'm making Mondstadt teams like based off of characters, sort of, so that I can level them up together in groups. The main story characters, Knights 1 adventure team. I'm going to add Bennett and Mona to this one. I'll have Rosaria, Venti, and I think that's what I was going to add. It's Freedom. And Wine. I was going to add Diona to this one. And then Knights 2 will be Jean, D-Luke, Albedo, and Eula. I have a bunch of teams together. And what is Sarah's name?
Here we go. This is it.
This is it?
Crisis, danger, the thrill of adventure. Adventurers Guild. Finally, our days of rescuing kittens and finding lost puppies are over. The age of adventure is upon us. Roll up, youngsters. Join the Adventurers Guild today. In this time of great upheaval, we must rally together, take on the dragon, and save our great city of Mondstadt. What? What?
That was it. That's the punchline here. It's all a joke. It would have been interesting, honestly, to see the Adventurers Guild and the Knights protect the city. But no, here's the joke.
The Storm Terror threat is resolved? I missed the acting clanmaster's speech?
She had a speech? Oh, because she mentioned like she quelled the citizens yesterday. Why wasn't... What?
Storm Terror should have put up more of a fight. We didn't get to join in.
No, I'm being forced to chat with people. Nimrod. I love that we have to talk to Nimrod.
Long live the heroes. Thank you. It's finally over. Many trade routes have closed due to the Storm Terror incident. We can cope for now without fresh fruit and vegetables. But if the wine supply dries up, we're all doomed. I cannot imagine a world without wine. I hope they get the trade routes back up and running soon.
And here's a sister of the church.
So Storm Terror's true identity is Dvalin, one of the four winds. We never should have forgotten his past sacrifice for Mondstadt.
It bothers me that the church ever did. Like, I think another thing that should have probably happened is that it would have been interesting to see the church try to play a part in like calming down the citizens, but then being rebuffed by certain things. I don't know. I'm asking way too much for like the very first story, I guess. But it feels like when you put enough thought into the game to build the world the way it is, there should have been more things happening. Especially since it's like they built 3 acts, but then they have like, they should have I think they built Liyue and Mondstadt together. I think that was a mistake. I feel like they should have done Mondstadt entirely first and focused a lot on its story and its characters. I understand that they have like patch cycles and like banners and shit, and I'm like, I wish you built a story that wasn't based around your gacha system. And if you have to have the gacha system to make your millions of dollars, put more effort into using the characters you're making and marketing. Like, at least have them planned ahead of time so you can just like introduce them naturally to the story, and so if they do cool things, people will like them.
Every cloud has a silver lining. We're fortunate that our relationship with the Dragon of the East didn't sour past the point of no return. For that, we have you to thank. And Jean for her unfailing devotion. As long as we have the Knights of Favonius, peace and freedom will prevail in Mondstadt.
Greetings. May I take your order?
Why so cold? I've always thought that we enjoy quite the intimate friendship.
I didn't see you.
It seems your great battle sharpened not only your combat skills, but your wit as well. A knight after my own heart. To bask in the presence of Mondstadt's new big hero is quite the morale boost. And that's coming from a knight.
Sweet-talking, sugar-coated Captain Kaya.
Nonsense. I speak from the heart.
What are you doing?
Just looking for a quiet spot to collect my thoughts.
You pick Town Square.
All the other knights are working hard to clean up after the battle?
Thinking can be an arduous task, you know. Believe me, I'd much rather be taking out the trash.
I don't believe you.
So what you thinking about then?
The Abyss Order. A dragon wreaks havoc in Mondstadt, and the acting Grand Master leaves the city to combat the threat. Strategically, that's the perfect moment for the Abyss Order to make their move.
Yes, you're correct.
If you were the Abyss Order, would you squander this golden opportunity by sending in nothing more than a few hilly churls?
So, they set up the idea that the city was attacked, and they even like went out of their way to put up like they made changes to the environment to show this, and then they tease us with the idea that the Adventurers Guild and the Knights of Favonius could have easily worked together and done something cool. And now Caius here is like, yeah, we had this elaborate setup in mind, but then we decided to let you know, hey, it was just a few hilly trails. There was an extra plot.
To get to the bottom of it, I decided to wait. So I waited and watched for their next move. Then came the day you made all hell break loose in Storm Terror's lair. Just as the hilly trolls' cries sounded from the city gates. That same day, I saw shadowy figures lurking in the city itself.
Inside the city?
Well, all the other knights were outside, fighting the enemy. As you can imagine, that left the inside of the city completely unguarded. Except for me, of course. And so I approached the Abyss Order infiltrators for a bit of, let's call it fraternizing. Through various means, I managed to gather some rather interesting intel.
Show, don't tell, people. Especially in video games. Show, don't tell.
The situation is this. The Abyss Order. They are united under a single leader.
The Abyss Order has a leader?
Of course they do.
Yes. And it was this very leader who devised the plot to turn Dvalin into a weapon of war.
If there's a plot in any regard when an organization does anything, it is assumed that they have a leader or a council. Why is this a shock? This was premeditated. Like 5 steps ago, you've already explained that this was all premeditated.
What exactly did you have to do to find this out?
Why did you ask that question?
Let's just say I'm blessed with certain linguistic powers. There's more. The Abyss Order has a name for this leader. They call her the Princess.
I imagine they call her the Prince in the version where you play them in.
Now, I'm sorry to cut this intelligence briefing short, but I do believe I spy Amber heading this way. I think she's still angry with me for my absence from the defense effort during the attack. I'd better slip away before she notices me.
I love how he's afraid of Amber when he's a captain. And she is an outrider. He outranks her. I don't get some of the dynamics sometimes. When they like, people will have like actual rank, and yet other characters with obviously either no or lesser station can cause them fear sometimes for no reason. Like this statement is like Amber is angry with him, but he's the boss, and all she can do is just do her job. That's how real life works.
1 minute I see Kaya, the next he slipped away. Clear sign of a guilty conscience.
Okay.
Are you sure? Because that sounds like exactly what he'd say to talk himself out of trouble. But let's forget about him. I worked super hard today, and my tummy's rumbling. Let's order. Hi, Sarah. 1 sticky honey roast, please.
Only one. Oh, I didn't want to do this. I'm starving. Eat. Alright, I have to go do a thing. Talk to Pallid. I've somehow activated a quest. I'm going to ignore it. Fuck it.
Today's recommendation is the steak. So, now the Storm Terror threat is behind us. What are your plans for the next step? Paimon thinks it's time to leave Mondstadt and keep looking through the 7 nations until we find clues about his sister.
I disagree, Paimon. We're going to be here for a while. I have chests to collect, and Immoculus, and many more, and then I have characters to build. We also have more stories to see and criticize.
Huh, really? Oh, well, I guess this is goodbye for now.
I will miss Mondstadt.
Hey, don't feel down. You'll always be a friend of the Knights of Avonius, and our honorary knight. Wherever you may go, and wherever the wind may blow. That's the spirit. Remember, Mondstadt will always welcome you. All right, now let's eat before it gets cold. That was good. Note to Paimon, Amber's recommendations are worth the wait.
Of course. Well, I don't trust myself in the kitchen. You can always trust me with the menu. Oh, I almost forgot to mention. Jean's waiting for you at the cathedral. It's something to do with the Holy Lyre de Himmel. You'd better head there now.
Ah, yes. I quite literally have the time. I'll just do it. Make this quick. He's over here, isn't he? I'll just make this quick and do the delivery. I accidentally started it. Just do it. I'll end up having to do them all anyway. So let's just get this over with. At least it's not like go find a person for delivery. I can just go straight to pallet. I'll never know how bad he is, by the way. That quest is not available as it was an event quest. I'm sorry. It wasn't him. Oh. Never mind. They're gonna make this harder for me. Take the food, please. Alright, let's turn this in. To the church.
Anything the knights can do for you.
And we introduced a character at the very end of the story for some reason.
This is Barbara, the deaconess of the church. She is here to retrieve the Holy Lyre de Himmel.
What an introduction. Here's Barbara, the deaconess of the church, here to retrieve the lyre, but now reference to the fact that they're siblings. That's hilarious.
May the Animo Archon protect you.
I love how the deaconess was not involved in any part of the thief thing at all.
I'm not really in a position to speak compared to our acting Grand Master, but I still want to thank you all on behalf of all of Mondstadt for your assistance. Fortunately, everything was resolved peacefully. I can't imagine how an all-out war between the military and the dragon would have ended.
Unfortunately, we would have won.
Now the Fatui have no choice but to keep their mouths shut. They must be annoyed that things didn't turn out as planned for them. This time, they even lost their best excuse to pressure the Knights of Favonius.
What was the excuse?
Diplomatically speaking, they gained nothing, and on the contrary, simply proved just how vexatious they can be.
Sounds like quite the story. So, did you bring the Holy Lyre with you? We cannot ask you to keep defending the lyre forever. The Seneschal has been pressing me for a while now.
So she's not acknowledging that we stole it. We're defending it. Is that what Jean told her?
We, did bring it with us. It's a little...
Oh, don't worry. I'm not here to collect rent. The church has always received special funding.
Why did...
The Holy Lyre! Oh, Barbados! Even existence for the rest of my life, it would still not be enough.
Oh, give it here.
How could this holy liar, but how?
Huh? Let Paimon see!
No. I don't know how you managed to fix it, but you'll never touch the liar again.
We, really should get going. That trick I used to repair the holy lyre. I mean, the magic I used isn't going to hold forever, you know.
What? You tone-deaf bard! Hey, don't
Why are they running out the back? Is there even a back to this place? Suddenly, there's a conflict. Despite the stupidity of just what happened.
At last, Mondstadt's rodent ruler in the flesh. Scurrying through the streets looking for leftovers? Mondstadt calls this a god?
Resident rodent beats invasive vermin.
Don't you dare speak back to me, insolent bard. Absentee Archon of Mondstadt. How impotent you've become.
That smirk you wear looks out of place. Did you steal it from your master's face?
You should have held your tongue. So, this is a gnosis. Wouldn't be caught dead wearing this ugly thing in public.
Beauty is a waste when the beholder has no taste.
Venti!
He said something. What do you know?
Well, we have what we came here for. Come, before our dear Favonian friends arrive. Leave nothing for them to find.
And that marks the singular time that he is required to speak per arc.
Honorary Knight, you're awake. I wouldn't say he's alright, exactly. I found you lying unconscious outside the cathedral and used my elemental powers to heal you. That bard awakened first, but strangely, my healing powers had almost no effect on him.
That's actually weird.
This is the first time I've encountered such a patient. But he just said, it's completely normal, and then got up and left the cathedral.
He left? Already? Where'd he go?
The symbol of Mondstadt's hero. That's what he said. I wanted to stop him, but Jean, I mean, Master Jean, said to let him leave. How strange.
Paimon remembers Venti healing under that tree. It's probably due to the connection between Windrise and the Animal Archon. Master Jean has figured it out as well, but we can't tell Barbara.
Why not? Why hide the guide from the faithful? Especially the deaconess. If you have no faith in your worshippers, you shouldn't have worshippers. No. I'll also heal. There we go. Healed all the damage. There he goes. So he has to heal here for some reason.
The wind amongst the branches is good. I love the way it smells.
I said the exact same thing last time. Why do I only say these things when I'm down on my luck?
So what's a gnosis?
So you noticed. This isn't something I'm meant to discuss with ordinary people, but I suppose I can let you in on the secret. As you know, visions are external magical foci that only a small minority of people possess. They use these visions to channel elemental power. In truth, every wielder of a vision is one who can attain godhood and ascend to Celestia. We call such people allogenes.
Allogenes. I actually haven't heard that word being used. It's always just vision wielder.
Allogenes? Paimon's never heard of them before.
That's because this is a secret that only Archons are privy to. We don't need primitive tools like visions. Instead, each Archon has an internal magical focus that resonates directly with Celestia itself, known as a gnosis.
I like how he insulted sort of the visions, but then explains that they gain power from something that's even smaller and just as stealable.
It's just a glowing glass ball I carry around to avoid suspicion.
Okay.
So who was that nasty woman who sent Paimon flying and stole your gnosis?
Her name is Signora, number 8 of the Harbingers.
Didn't you see the infograph when she showed up?
She and the rest of the Harbingers have been given godlike executive authority by the Tsaritsa of Snezhnaya, and with it, strength surpassing that of other mortals.
The Tsaritsa of Snezhnaya? Isn't that...
Indeed. She is one of the 7. The Tsaritsa who reigns from the Zeppeljärni Palace, and the one person that the Fatui Harbingers all answer to.
The 7 don't always get along well, but still. I never thought that she would plot to steal another Archon's gnosis.
Why? Every other Archon is willing to give it away. I bet if she asked you, you would have, like, traded it for wine.
How should I put this? 500 years ago, I knew her well. But I can't say the same is true now. You see, a certain catastrophe happened 500 years ago, and after that, she cut off all ties with me.
Okay.
But we can save discussion of the Cryo Archon and the Fatui for another day. If you seek the rest of the 7, many difficulties lie ahead of you still. You should head for Mondstadt's neighboring nation of Liyue. The Geo-Archon who reigns there, unlike me, administrates his entire region personally.
For now.
He only descends once every year to give his divine predictions, which set the direction for Liyue for the rest of that year.
Even so, it sounds like he works much harder than a certain someone,
In any case, this year's Rite of Descension is soon to begin. If you miss it, you'll just have to wait another year.
I'm probably gonna miss it.
What? Oh, why didn't you tell us before? Well, then bye! We're going!
No, I'm saying.
One moment, Windborn Outlander.
Yes?
Just use it gratefully. Or, better yet, treat me to a glass of dandelion wine. Traveler, as you set off on your journey once again, you must remember that the journey itself has meaning. The birds of Tevat, the songs in the cities, the Tsaritsa, her Fatui and the monsters, they are all part of your journey. The destination is not everything. So before you reach the end, keep your eyes open. Use the chance to take in the world around you.
I understand.
Great. So, that's that for the Animo Archon's admonishments. Back to Venti time. If you want to chat, now's the time. A bard stays not always in a single climb.
Alright, let's go through each of these. But I will say that I still don't know. Are all the Archons aware when the Traveler gained his power from their statues? I don't know.
Until the end, Dvalin remembered his duty as one of the Four Winds. As such, I don't intend to forcibly strip him of that duty and force my ideals of freedom onto him. I just hope that Dvalin will be able to choose for himself and understand what freedom is.
It's still unclear if Dvalin is around, is what you just told me. Some people say he's left. You just stated that he's still around protecting Mondstadt.
Before I became an Archon, I too was taught the meaning of freedom in this way by a friend. If you want to chat, now's the time. A bard stays not always in a single climb. Kaya shared some new intelligence, you say? Oh, I see. So, the Abyss Order has a princess who orchestrated the plan to corrupt Dvalin? They were probably trying to turn Dvalin into a weapon of war for the Abyss. But that said, I have never heard of any such princess of the Abyss Order. I think so too. Apparently. But how does a princess come out of nowhere and take command over the entire Abyss Order? If you want to chat, now's the time. A bard stays not always.
That Fatui lady didn't hang around, did she? She just grabbed your gnosis and left?
She wanted to avoid any eyewitnesses from the Knights of Favonius. The slightest slip-up here would have destroyed the Fatui's diplomatic relations with the Knights.
And yet, Jean was like literally in one room away and should have easily heard any combat.
So they're just gonna keep acting like Mondstadt's allies as if nothing happened?
If only the Seven Nations had banded together against the Abyss Order in the first place. The Fatui possess the strongest military among the Seven Nations, yet they've used it to steal the Holy Lyre, covet the power of gods, and use Dvalin as a bargaining chip against the Knights.
Speaking of the Lyre, didn't Diluc say something like this before? He said that the Fatui can only run amok across the Seven Nations and threaten the Knights because of the Harbingers.
Yes. As I said earlier, the Cryo-Archon has given them authority and strength beyond that of other mortals.
So, what you're stating is the reason that the Fatui have any level of political power is because 12 to 13 assholes are one of the strongest beings on the world, but like, just because she granted them that power doesn't mean there aren't people in the other nations that aren't capable of standing up to them. By virtue, Alice is damn near a god compared to given everything we've heard about her, and then there are other characters or other people in other nations that rise up to that. Varka is around, and he's the head of the Knights, and he's probably incredibly powerful. And he's even garnered the attention of one of the Harbingers themselves, or at least two of them. Fucking Child and Capitano. So, yeah, I don't see it.
The Tsaritsa. I haven't seen her in 500 years. What is she thinking? What's her plan?
I like how it's only the Tsaritsa. She has no other name, even though we know for a fact she'll just have another name once we meet her. She'll just have some. They'll just call her something else for some reason.
Whatever the answer is, I have a feeling it's only going to make your search for the Seven all the more difficult. If you want to chat, now's the time. A bard stays not always in a single climb. As I said before, vision wielders are known as allogenes and may ascend to Celestia. A gnosis is a higher order nexus of elemental manipulation and is emblematic of an Archon's status as one of the Seven. But as for which of the Seven took your sister, I'm sorry, I don't know. Wait. As one of the Seven, I'm not clear of suspicion yet either, am I?
Hang on a hot second. Tone Deaf Bard is just one of Barbados' many incarnations. Who's to say that...
We're a great team indeed. Say, once you find your sister, how would you like to become one of the new Four Winds?
I'm surprised they already aren't. if the adventure was a bit more hectic and a lot more like, I don't know, if they like put a lot more effort into the story of the Mondstadt arc, I feel like that would actually have been more suitable than Honorary Knight in regards to what is happening. Like Aether, one of the Four Winds, you know, if he was a character and like agreed with Venti's thing of freedom.
You don't seem too into it. Hey, Tone Deaf Bard! If being one of the Four Winds means free food, you can consider Paimon.
If you want to chat, now's the time. A bard stays not always in a single club.
It would be fascinating if the story also was like the reconstruction of the Four Winds, because when we arrive here, fucking 3 of them are dead. Like, there's really just Dvalin. There are no Four Winds. There's just the spirits of one of them. Dvalin was asleep at the time, and then the other 2 died off because it was Vanessa and like some other dude. And I'm like, why not reconstruct the Four Winds as have people like actually sign up for that? That would have been an interesting end to the story.
Well then, best be off to Liyue. If the dissension ritual you failed to tally, then another year you must dally.
Domain of Blessing unlocked. Accept the Domain of Blessing challenges and obtain strong artifacts. And they are showing me that at number 32 I gained dice. There are various ways to obtain. So the only reason they would show me that means that I'm not high enough level for the next act. Yep, there it is. And they showed it to me again. We did it! The completion of the Mondstadt arc. And they're already like trying to kick me to the curb, but I won't let them. Then you have... Alright, increase energy recharge by 16%. I'm going to remove these. I don't want them anymore. Got domains. Claim. And then I have to go to this to get this reward. That's weird. I think this will go away in 6 days, so I won't have to worry about it too much. Legend of the Dark Knight Hero. And then they just decided to show me this for some reason. Rite of Ascension, which we'll ignore. You got this one. I'm surprised they don't have the other. They don't show me the things yet. Watch, I have to complete like the way to get the character stories like these ones for like. Because I used to be able to press L2 and just like get to that. But here's some more people stories. We've got Razor, Diluc, Lisa. And then I think this one is Zhangling. Events. Survey. I have Primo Gems, and I have enough to get 2 more. I'll be sure to get the Welkin Stone and the Battle Pass before next week. And there's Barbara. And I do believe I can now do domains, so like, now that's talent books at 27, but I can do this one and gain, like, Peridot and such. That has those. This one has, Thundering Fury, and I believe those are the only two here. Yeah, and then there's these. Rank 21. This one is doable now, which I might do soon. Yeah. This one I can also do now. And then we have the bosses. They're finally appeared in the world. That's good. That helps with that. And then we have, so at this point in time, I will probably be doing a lot of collection-based stuff and doing a couple of stories. I definitely want to start getting the Animoculi just to increase my stamina because that's becoming a real issue. And then chests, and then I'll definitely do all that on stream though, like dedicated streams too. We're going to collect all of the Animoculi in like one stream, or like split into 2 streams, and then we'll add chests to we'll do chests the next time. Yeah, let's go ahead and unlock. Oh, what's this? This is probably part of the way. Yeah, this one, I would consider this one part of the way because it has Millilith, which, yeah, see, adventure rank 45. You can't even get that yet. Yeah. Here's all of this. Up here is the mountains. Sorry, Dragon Spine, which we will eventually get to after I get further into the Mondstadt stories that I'll have access to. But a lot of things that we'll be doing is just collection, getting characters leveled up and built to a degree. But so Mondstadt, so even though we completed the story, Mondstadt is not quite over. And since we have only been going for less than 2 hours, I will probably keep going for just a tad bit longer. Maybe do it. Let's go ahead and do Lisa's story. Books. Library picture. Collect all the books. I may read them on a stream, or I may not. It depends. I think there's like an achievement for collecting books, so I'm just gonna grab all of them. I get them all? So many books. There we go. We got an achievement for something. Yeah, there's like a lot of books. And that's not bad to have like a library and have all these books and like use all this lore for the backgrounds. But if like a lot of that information is interesting, I'm afraid of what will happen. Like, oh, you could have done interesting stories, but they decided to keep it there. Please, there's books. Time.
If you're borrowing a book, please register it in the log. The restricted section is currently not lending any books. Oh, it's you, little cutie. It's so good to see you. More refreshing than a strong cup of tea in the afternoon.
Clearly you're meant to be working, but you don't seem to have your heart in it at all.
I mean, other than Jean, who really works that earnestly anyway?
We haven't met them yet, but there's a lot of people in Leeway that do.
So, did you have something you needed? Or did you just come to see me? Nothing specific? You must just be here to see me then. Okay, I won't tease you any further.
So, Miss Librarian, got any books to recommend?
Recommended books. Sadly, everything I'd personally recommend is all in the restricted section, which we're not currently lending out.
What's with your ominous tone?
Because it's all the information we'll need to succeed in the main plot, and she's hiding it from us, clearly.
Oh, right. Would you be interested in checking out the Devat travel guide?
I feel like... Here's another thing. Shit. Paimon being in the library. I feel like, as much as, like, she makes fun of characters, and she's been told that she's annoying and blah, 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 I feel like it would have been interesting if they gave a trait that isn't gluttony to Paimon. If Paimon was interested in books, specifically, like, fiction, or sorry, non-fiction books, like that actually had like important information about the world. Like I don't know if I've stated it before on the streams. Paimon should have been from the get-go interested in the world of Tevat, like in every aspect. Like if she doesn't know something, she's interested to learn it regarding like Tevat's cultures, its locations, and so like it would be interesting to see when we're like in areas and talking to people like this librarian, like her intentionally asking for like books about Mondstadt or about Leeway or about other locations, but mostly like just to like build her knowledge about the cultures, the events, famous people. So that way, when things like what happened earlier in this entire arc, and then what's going to happen in future arcs, is like when people bring up names, she can be the one that tells you, "Hey, I remember this person."
I think it would be quite helpful for you as travelers here.
Ooh, sounds like it could be helpful.
Sounds like it could be helpful. It should be helpful. It will be helpful to you if that was your goal. I feel like Paimon would be better served as what she intended to be from the beginning. What she wanted to be was your travel companion, the person who will guide your travel guide, the person who will guide you through Tevat. She needs to know the information to do that. And what she has been is just a gluttonous annoyance to the people. She repeats information, she eats food, and she calls people ugly nicknames. That is what she turned into, instead of being the travel guide, someone who will tell you about locations. Like have us when she enter a new location for the first time, she gives us fun facts, and that would make her knowledgeable, and it would be interesting.
Do you think we could take a peek?
Otherwise, she comes out as stupid. which she so far hasn't yet, but as we go along, she will just start turning stupid.
I suppose I can try to find you a copy from the list.
Isn't this Lisa's job? What does she mean, I suppose?
Oh dear. That's unfortunate. Our copy is currently being borrowed.
You only have one copy?
That said, it is now overdue. Come to think of it, quite a few of our books are now overdue. I really wish people would just return their books on time.
Whoa, is Paimon imagining things, or does the air in here suddenly feel a lot more electrified?
I wish you wouldn't say that. I wish you would just notice that. That would be another thing. Paimon says what's in her head way too often, like pointing out the obvious. I wish Paimon would either just react to it, or like in electricity actually appeared around Lisa, and then Paimon would just like hide behind the Traveler or something, or like back away a bit, floating. And the Traveler has been very good, well, only because they keep him quiet, but he's been very good about, like, he notices things and but he'll, like, think about it, and instead of, like, outright saying it. It's like, they put the two opposites right next to each other, and it's way too jarring, because if one is too loud, then the other person doesn't exist. And that's why Aether or Lumine doesn't work here. Is because it's just Paimon just saying what they say, but they think our writers think it's justified because there's a person standing next to them. But if the person doesn't speak or do anything, and they really don't do anything or say anything, then they're not really there. You're just a cardboard cutout for Paimon to speak to.
Such a pain. I'm going out to bring those unreturned books back. If you'd rather get your hands on that copy of the Teyvat travel guide sooner, you'd better come with me.
Lisa seems really scary right now. Paimon thinks it would be best if you answer her.
Okay. You could also just say, yes, ma'am, as well.
You really are such a considerate cutie. Let's see. First, we can go to the souvenir shop. It's called With Wind Comes Glory. So let's meet there shortly.
Travel some work. Okay. With this, so far they've introduced that she's the librarian. She doesn't take care of her. She's bored at work, but she also takes her job incredibly seriously as well. So we're after late books. Although it's weird that there's only one book, one version of the travel guide, but we'll let that go for now. So Lisa's angry, and we're going to help her. Is what's happening.
Cutie, you're here. Let's begin, shall we? Hello, Marjorie. Any exciting new items in stock?
So we got interrupted. Okay.
Why so surprised? Today is such a special day. It's only natural that I'd want a souvenir to remember it by.
Today is just an ordinary day.
Since we came all this way, why don't we put our official business to one side for a moment? All work and no play makes life terribly mundane.
And now they've flipped the entire concept of what we're doing on ahead.
Well, if it's a souvenir you're after, you're in the right place. I'm sure you'll find something that strikes your fancy, Lisa. Or you could let your new friend pick something out for you. Make it more of an occasion.
Yes! Let us pick!
Okay.
Take a look around. There's sure to be something she'll love.
What?
This is a historical relic retrieved from some ruins by one of the Adventurers Guild. Sure, there's a bit of wear and tear, but this thing in the painting must be well over 1,000 years old. though it doesn't make much sense to me.
My goodness. This is one of the 3 lost scrolls that make up the Northern Border Wind investigation. What is it doing here?
You sure? Can't change again once you've made your mind up.
My. You clearly know a treasure when you see it. This is a work of unparalleled significance for the research of ancient people's understanding of the elements. I will gladly accept it. Goodness, is that the time? Marjorie, one last thing. About the legend of Vanessa.
Oh, so you're a fan of the gallant Lady Vanessa too? Why didn't you say so? I have all sorts of items I could recommend. For example, this lion's tooth pendant with Vanessa's name carved into it. It was once a medal awarded to a knight by the great lady herself. Oh my goodness. I do apologize. I got so excited when you mentioned Vanessa. I didn't know that book was overdue, even though I take it with me everywhere. I can't believe I didn't put 2 and 2 together as soon as I saw you here. Here you go.
I feel like you should just buy the book. If you're so dedicated, I can't imagine you would ever do a borrowing of a book. You would just buy it.
Well, since you look up to Lady Vanessa so very much, please be more punctual next time.
Yes, Lisa. I will be, Lisa.
Let's go and find the next overdue book.
Which should I choose? It's been getting quite busy recently. Welcome to Good Hunter. Table for 2?
3!
Oh, my apologies. Please sit wherever you like, and call me over once you're ready to order.
So we're gonna eat first and bring up the book situation later?
Why, of course. The stress of work really takes the pleasure out of eating, don't you think?
Work is that bad, huh?
Why don't you order us something, cutie? I'm ever so curious to know what your tastes are. Why don't you order...
Why are these here? Wait a minute. That's weird. Anyway.
This seems like the...
You sure? Can't change...
Finished ordering? Sit... Such a potent aroma. It's almost suffocating. I never thought someone your age would go for a dish like this. I always had you down as a little cutie. Now I'm not so sure.
Paimon's so full.
Time is getting on. I suppose I should carry on with this ghastly thing called work. Let's have a little chat with Sarah about her library book.
Would you like to order something else?
No, thank you. We're quite satisfied. But I'm afraid I must ask you about the Boar Princess.
The boar brisket? I'm sorry. I think we got off the menu.
She means the book you borrowed.
Oh, of course. I came straight to the restaurant after I borrowed it and completely forgotten that I even had it. I'm so sorry, Lisa. I will bring it to the library myself as soon as I finish work.
Okay then. But make sure you don't forget this time. Right. On to our next stop then, cutie.
Ah, yes. This issue. Character is currently involved in other quests. See details. Yeah. So, one of the biggest issues people have found is when there's a quest and then it forces you to do a different quest mid-quest because someone is busy. And now I have to stop midway through or near the end of Lisa's quest to go do Diluc's quest for some reason, when I shouldn't have to do that. You need to complete the following quest or meet the following conditions. Noctua Chapter Act 1. Problem with that is that fucking Lisa's quest should come first. This is not a good way to do, especially like, since I have to, in the quest itself, it says, ask Charles about recent rumors, but the person we're trying to go to isn't Charles. We need to talk to Donna. So for some reason, they block NPCs that, though are related to the story that's happening in something else, they're not the person you have to talk to. They're not forced into a different location. They're exactly where they need to be. I could probably go find Donna at some point and just like talk to her outright, but apparently I have to do Diluc's quest first for some reason, even though I only have to talk to Charles to initiate the quest. I don't know how they decide characters are busy during these times. So we're going to go ahead and stop doing Lisa's quest real quick and do Diluc's now. Even though we were in the middle of doing her quest, we have to go do another quest. So yeah, this is another major issue with the game. And I think they, like, later on they fix it in later quests, but I can't believe they haven't fixed it here. Hello, Charles. What do you have to do with Donna?
So, you've got a taste for adventure too, huh? I must say, the patrons have been in a bit of a buzz lately. Though the topic on everyone's lips is more of an urban legend than actual news. Even minding my own business, I still end up hearing all about it.
Uh-oh. It's not one of those scary urban legends, is it? If so, Paimon needs to take a deep breath first.
It's not a particularly scary story, no. At least, not for most people. It's the tale of the Dark Knight hero.
Hilarious. Paimon, why are you scared?
Huh? Did the bartender just say something?
You weren't even listening? Anyway, the Dark Knight hero. It is said that he appears in the middle of the night to fight evil and uphold justice. But to be honest, I don't have much interest in such rumors. Unless, of course, he can help take care of the more belligerent patrons after they've had a few too many. I would happily take that as proof of his existence. I doubt anyone knows but him. Maybe he enjoys being a man of mystery. After all, it's a good way to get the ladies' attention.
And in the City of Freedom, so long as you're doing good, it shouldn't matter.
Any guy in the tavern could tell you that. Anyway, that's more or less everything I know. If you want to know more, ask around in the plaza. I need to serve some customers.
Dark Knight hero. Seems like your standard cookie-cutter urban legend, but just a little darker. Wonder who it could be. Once you're ready, let's head out to the plaza and ask around.
$5 says one of the people we have to ask is Donna. Do we just ask anyone? Hey, look, it's Donna. Hey, look, she has nothing to do with the thing. Look at that. She likes D-Luke. So by virtue of liking D-Luke, she suddenly is important to what is happening. That's more people.
And a radish veggie soup.
What do you sell here? What? Nope, don't want to talk to you. Do your quest later.
Truly is fascinating.
Nice. Do you know the Dark Knight hero?
Greetings. I am Timaeus. Alchemy, its mechanisms are. If we can get the hang of this.
This must be your alchemist's work.
That's right. Why not give it a go yourself?
I'm gonna blow it
You'll
up.
be fine. The procedure's actually very simple. If you're.
Alright, we've unlocked this. This is, I forgot that I was gonna do this anyway on stream, but we've unlocked, the crafting thing, which will help us a lot later. All these locked ones. Cool.
All we are really doing is much as one who uses a wind glider needs not understand how it was built in order to glide.
Okay.
The difference with alchemy is that every time I think I finally understand how it's supposed to work, something.
Hey! You shall have no other Paimon before this Paimon!
That's a weird statement, but okay.
Unfortunately, my skills are not that advanced. There's a lot of other mysterious recipes I have to research first. Over the course of your adventures, you should come across some alchemist notes from ancient civilizations. And as your adventure rank increases, more recipes will become available to you.
Unless I hear from me, I'll be a Paimon conjuring alchemy wizard.
Why are you so obsessed with other Paimons? Do I no longer satisfy your primordial needs?
No.
You two are a fascinating pair, I must say. Well, see you next time. May the wind bring you good fortune on your path ahead.
Okay. I'm going to step away for a second. I have to do something. I'll be right back. So I will do... Get this...
Ancient alchemy truly is fascinating.
How can I help you? Something bad happen again?
Ancient alchemy truly is fascinating.
Has the most prosperous commercial port in all of Tibet.
I have returned. second.
Ancient alchemy truly is fascinating.
Alright. Let's go find whoever the fuck I need to talk to.
Anything the knights can do for you?
Has to be within the circle. It better not be Huffman. Sarah, please tell me you know the Dark Knight hero. I think I'd heard customers talk about that, but I don't listen to their conversations. Because I am bad at my job.
Add Astra at...
Yeah.
Add Astra...
Go ahead and get this out of the way as well. Fetch again. That's too much of the edge. Asked her. It's the cat's tail. Further up, maybe? Anyone back here? Glory, do you know anything about the Dark Knight hero? No, you don't. Ooh, let's ask the Fatui. Now I've been thinking the Knight's Flames can't be as important as they look. I'll bet they've been keeping their true powers hidden until now. I want to see what weapons they might have stashed away. There's still no way they can compete with the might of the Fatui. Our previous attempts to coerce the Grandmaster were unsuccessful. It's not a big problem. Didn't you notice about Senora? She didn't seem concerned about this minor quibble in the slightest. In fact, she seemed quite pleased with herself about something. That's something she's done, or maybe something she intends to do. Either way, we've got Senora at the helm, and even Barbados himself would be no match for her. Let's just hope Senora never meets her match in battle. Relax, this is Senora we're talking about. As long as she's around, everything will be fine. Death flag. Okay. What about you, Knights? Please tell me you know the Dark Knight hero. Oh my god. Ask the bystanders at the Fountain Plaza. Anthony! Tell me something. What are you doing? Doing nothing. Well, you caught me, haven't you? Some people treat it like a wishing... Okay. Because, right, the disease thing. God damn it. Margaret?
You want to find out about the Dark Knight hero?
Fucking finally. Yes, tell me about the Dark Knight hero.
Further. It's me. I am the Dark Knight hero.
Sure.
I'm joking. Don't take everything so seriously. Jokes aside, I do think that the Dark Knight hero and I have one thing in common.
Rich? Hot? Brooding? No, you don't have that.
What's that?
It's the way he sticks to his principles. Coming out here night after night, fighting for justice, keeping Mondstadt safe.
What the fuck is he fighting? Is Mondstadt City so lawless that there are actual criminals within the city walls that just like wander and do crime? This place isn't big enough for that.
Wow, so you're a nocturnal vigilante too?
No, I just mean he must be seriously rich.
Why is that?
He
People only start worrying about spiritual fulfillment once they have enough material wealth. It's the same in every hero story, isn't it? No, it's nothing like that. I just have too much time on my hands these days.
Same difference. You are the boss of the Cat's Tail after all.
I love how this is the boss of the Cat's Tail, but then like Diona is like the actual like character and like represents the Cat's Tail.
Why don't you ask the guards at the city gate? They do night shifts all the time. They must know something.
Okay. Now that we've completed that, let's see if they've... Yep. Apparently Donna's still important. For some reason. Oh, it's because she's in the circle. I guarantee you it's because she's in the circle of influence for some stupid reason. Jesus Christ. What can the Knights do for you? Trying to find the Dark Knight hero. Haven't heard a thing. I'm out of the loop. Fucking Lawrence, tell me.
You want to know about him?
Thank God your voice acted.
In fact, I'm one of the few who has seen him with my own 2 eyes.
So you can directly tell me it's Diluc.
Great! This is the guy we need to talk to. So, just who is the Dark Knight hero?
Whoa, slow down. Let me start from the beginning.
Just say it's Diluc.
Well, I was patrolling one night when suddenly I heard something. I rushed over to check it out. I saw a gang of suspicious-looking fellows who looked like they were up to no good, so I quickly hid.
Hid? You're supposed to be a guard.
Yeah. Yeah, that contradicts what your position is.
That was when he appeared. He was dressed in black from head to toe, perfectly hidden in the night. The way he crept up on those bad guys must have felt like a living nightmare.
Wow.
Guess what I did next?
Ran away?
I wasn't the bad guy. Why would I need to run away? Still, I did leave the scene. I didn't want to be a nuisance to the Dark Knight hero.
You're the guard that he would go to say, hey, I caught the bad guys.
So instead, I headed to the Knights of Favonius' residence. Correct. I thought surely someone with such a strong sense of justice and who voluntarily protects Mondstadt is exactly the kind of person you'd find in the Knights of Favonius.
No. It would be more of an adventurer from the Adventurers Guild.
But it seems I was wrong. I checked everywhere, and there were no signs of anyone having left the building.
So you're saying whoever it is can't be from the Knights of Favonius after all?
Yes. But I just can't understand. Why would someone like that not want to join the Knights? I'm sure they would warmly welcome someone of his abilities.
So, the point you're trying to make is, you don't know who the Dark Knight hero is either?
Hey, don't be like that. At least by talking to me, you've ruled out a few more people. Anyway, try asking at the flower shop. I heard a girl there's been talking about the time you rescued her.
It's Donna, isn't it?
What's wrong with me? Why can't I get him out of my mind?
God damn it.
Hello? We'd like to ask you about the Dark Knight hero.
My hero? Oh, sorry. Just hearing his name gets me lost in thought. Hang on. How did you know who I was talking about? Is it that obvious? Oh no. What am I going to do if Master Diluc ever finds out?
This is a interesting voice actor. She sort of has a little strain in her voice from what I'm hearing. I don't know voice acting too well in terms of like... I just like hear a little bit like... I feel like they should have done a different take or another take of that.
What's Diluc got to do with this?
Well, I guess I might as well spill the beans then. I used to think Diluc was the one for me. But ever since the time I was rescued by the Dark Knight hero, I just don't know anymore.
Why does this feel unnatural?
Wowee! You saw the Dark Knight hero? For real? What's he like?
How did you not...
It all happened so fast. I was so scared. All I remember is seeing a flash of fire. But
but I felt safe. I only saw his silhouette, but it felt so familiar. Who knows? Now that you mention it, a pyrovision does seem like a good explanation.
I will say, if I'm being unnecessarily like dickish because I already know who the Dark Knight hero is, I will say that this does do a good enough job pointing out all the similarities between D-Luke and the Dark Knight hero. The only reason I'm being so mean right now is because I know that there's a massive issue with this plot, and it hasn't happened yet, despite the fact, if I went into this with not irritated, because I am irritated that they interrupted a different story to do this, I have to do this story now. But I would say that so far it's okay, I guess.
It lit up the whole area in an instant. I remember that very well.
Okay then. Well, thanks for the intel, Donna. See you around. So, based on what we know so far, all we need to do is find a wealthy, vision-wielding vigilante who's not one of the knights.
And who could potentially be a former knight. Say D-Luke, for example.
Nope, still no idea.
God damn it. This is where the worst this is like the worst instance of like you have you have Paimon talking and our character standing there. Every single person, I swear to God, who is standing here right now as the person would be saying it's D-Luke. At the very least, that's the person we would think of first to ask. Wealthy, pyrovision, former knight. Fits all three boxes. It would be, and even if like we were wrong, hilariously enough, like if they invented another character to trick us, at the very least we would ask them. And like this is where Aether as a character should be speaking up. Maybe we should ask D-Luke. He seems to fit the boxes, or something of that line. Have her be clueless, sure, but then have Aether step in and say something.
But we already asked so many people. Guess we gotta see for ourselves. Let's take a look around the city at nighttime. If we're lucky, we just might bump into him.
And so instead of going to D-Luke, who obviously checks all three of those boxes, we're just going to go out at night and hope to find him. Please. And she is still within the realm. I imagine I will just not be able to finish Lisa's quest until I finish D-Luke's quest for some reason. Even though she is no longer part of the story. Unless she shows up again. I'm irritated. Alright. Time. It's nighttime.
It's getting dark. Let's stick around Mondstadt. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll meet the Dark Knight hero.
Alright. Hey look, it's D-Luke. Look at all this destruction.
The Dark Knight hero is Master D-Luke?
After managing to steer clear of the guard's patrol route, I never anticipated I'd run into you instead.
Yep.
Dark Knight Hero? Sounds awfully derivative to me. Please tell me you didn't come up with that.
How is this the first you've heard of the name? Every man and his dog in Mondstadt is yapping about the Dark Knight Hero.
Now hear me out, though. D-Luke looks exactly as he normally would. Everyone knows he has his vision, everyone knows he's a former knight, he is fully capable and does fight the Abyss Order from time to time. Why is this instance of him fighting the Abyss Order any different than any other time he would fight the Abyss Order? Why is he considered this Dark Knight hero when he doesn't even change his outfit? I understand, like, if you've read, there's a webcomic that has a bunch of, like, old stories of Mondstadt. About it goes into like a little bit of D-Luke's past. It goes a bit about Vanessa. There's a scene where he's wearing like this dark. He's actually wearing a different outfit and like a hood and a mask, and he's not even using his vision. He's using a delusion. I wish they had thought of that and started and put in the extra effort to do that here. Give him a different outfit, give him his delusion, and have him do his Black Flames, because that would make the whole Batman arc of him much more believable. I'm just staring at a man that just wiped out an Abyss Mage because there was an Abyss Mage in the city. And as a former knight, he has the power and responsibility to do so.
I do not concern myself with idle chatter. Though, I suppose I may take the idleness of others as a sign that peace prevails.
Huzzah! The great mystery of the Dark Knight Hero of Mondstadt! We solved it!
Great, we can go home now. I'm gonna go back to doing Lisa's quest, if that's alright with you.
Now then, Mr. Dark Knight Hero.
Why are we questioning him? We just know exactly his whole deal.
Please stop calling me that. Seriously, it makes me uncomfortable.
Not surprised. It's the stupidest superhero name Paimon's ever heard. You should come up with something more original.
The fact that she knows what a superhero is, and the fact that there are even superheroes in general to think about, shouldn't really be a concept. When you have people with powers and visions specifically, and people who study magic, there aren't superheroes. There are just good people.
Captain Pie.
What?
Pie?
Pie?
Captain Pyro!
No.
Tell us, Captain Pyro, what happened here today?
It was the Abyss Order.
Them again?
I don't know what the devil they're plotting this time. It seems they're performing some initial reconnaissance. Considering that I've proven myself to be one step ahead of them on countless occasions, their persistence is unusual.
You know what's funny? They take what D-Luke's doing and they give it to Zotic. I didn't even know she came in. Hello. I pulled a Klee on this account at certain points. I do have a bunch of Mondstadt characters. I basically pulled in the Chronicled Wish banner to when I created this account. I do have my own other accounts that I played before, where I've gotten pretty far into the game, so I'm not a stranger to this game. But I will be eventually pulling for more characters as time goes on and I get more Primo Gems and money. Welcome to the stream. Considering that I proved myself once, they take his whole deal with being a thorn in the side of the Abyss Mage, and they sort of give it to, I've forgotten his name, Dainsleif, and they make it work better with Dainsleif given his backstory. Have you been dealing with them alone this whole time? Why don't you get the Knights of Avonius to help?
Who would be helping whom is debatable. The Knights are, for the most part, an utterly incompetent bunch.
That's because most of them are on an expedition. Eula is incredibly competent. Albedo is incredibly competent. Kaya, though you hate, is competent in his own way, but that's probably the one you don't like the most. Jean has proven loyalty above all else and would be incredibly valuable. You're actually a new player? Who should I pull? I'd say, given the current pulls, I'd say that the current Arlecchino is pretty good. I would say you would probably... I encourage you to watch a lot of videos regarding people who talk about the characters, about their actual builds, though. Let me see. There is... I would recommend Braxophone. Let me type that in. I believe that's how you spell it. Yes, I would go to him. He has a lot of good videos about characters, especially about the... I think he did make a recent one about our... yeah, he made an Arlecchino video. And then if you go further back, you may find a Lenny one. And he tells you... he has pretty good videos about those characters and their builds. And there's always, in the game... I'm in the middle of a cutscene, so I can't like show you, but there's a way to like playtest the current characters.
I cannot trust them to take this matter over.
That's the end of history.
What's past is past. I would prefer not to discuss it. Well, I hope this conversation has been of service to you. Because I would like to ask for a favor in return.
Oh? What is it, Master Diluc? Your wish is our command!
You must keep my identity a secret. Above all, it is crucial that you do not let the Knights of Favonius know I am connected to any of this.
I'm going to inform them immediately. Footsteps.
What's that sound? Yikes! Have the Abyss Order sent backup already?
They appear to just be small-timers. You should have no trouble dealing with them. I cannot afford delays on account of a few lackeys. I shall have to let you take care of them. Remember, don't tell a soul.
Yeah, he has really good videos that explains a lot of how to build characters, teams, artifacts to go for, and even like when to go for even constellations. If you don't feel like if a character isn't worth it at certain constellations, you really shouldn't go for them unless you have the extra money. I'm mostly playing the basic characters because I feel like it.
You're in for a little shock.
Don't get frostbite.
Go, Peridot!
Yeah.
I have been.
Greetings. I thought I heard something, so I came to check it out. Did you see anything out of the ordinary?
Nope. Nuh-uh. Not here. Nothing. Zilch.
Are we confirming that when Hilichurls die, they actually disapparate?
Unless you're looking for the Dark Knight hero, in which case...
Shut up.
The Dark Knight hero? You saw him?
Oh, the Dark Knight hero is, him!
You! The hero who safeguards Mondstadt from the shadows. On behalf of the Knights of Favonius, I thank you for your service to this city.
It's...
Wait a second. Aren't you the traveler? Rumors were circulating about the Dark Knight hero long before you ever arrived here.
Yes.
Oh,
Long before.
Why would you lie to me about that?
Well...
Never mind. You don't seem like bad folks. But I do hope you will visit the Knights of Favonius soon, where we can discuss the Dark Knight hero situation in more detail. You know, some things are best not discussed in public. Duty calls. I must be going. Stay safe, traveler.
Seems like Huffman has something he really wants to say to you about the Dark Knight hero.
I can finally finish Lisa's quest.
The Knights of Avonius and see if you can find him.
I can finally finish Lisa's quest. Jesus Christ.
Ad Astra Abyssa.
In case you return, for Zotic, if you check into this area over here, you should be able to like play test characters if you're still around, or if you ever come back to this. This is a great place to play test characters. You can like replay them over and over again, just like to see if you like them.
This is our final call for the day.
Welcome. Couples are our specialty. Let me know what you'd like and I'll wrap them up nicely for you.
Ah, yes. Now, which book was it that has the line, "A date without flowers is a date without romance"? Why, it just so happens that I would, my kindest cutie.
Some flowers for Miss Lisa? What would you like?
Probably Miss Flower.
Mist flowers? Over there in the corner. But don't you want them? It's just that Lisa seems to use Electro quite a lot.
You sure?
You're right.
Flower? Dandelion. I know what you're thinking. Most flower shops don't sell dandelions. They're a nuisance to care for. Perhaps Miss Flora likes the sense of floating away to a faraway land. Come to think of it, Miss Flora herself gives people the same impression.
You sure? Can't...
Sure.
Dandelions? They have a refreshing scent, similar to the one Jean wears. Thank you. Okay, time to get back to business. Donna, do you know why we're here?
Back to business?
Once again, we see a total lack of respect for literature. The Pale Princess and the Six Pygmies. Ring a bell?
Oh, yes. Well, what happened was... Oh no, what am I gonna do?
What happened?
I lost the book. A while back, I realized it was almost due, and I was getting ready to bring it back to the library. But I couldn't find it anywhere. I looked for days, but nothing. It's like somebody stole it. It should have been there, on my bedside table, right where I left it.
Uh-oh. That Lisa does some crazy things when she gets mad.
I heard that. Well, if it really was stolen, Donna's done nothing wrong. The blame lies with the book thief, and their punishment will be 10 times worse than stealing my book.
Like Paimon said, totally crazy!
Oh, don't worry about that. As long as I remain librarian, not a single book will go missing for good. I put a unique elemental marker on each book. Our thief will have left a nice set of clues for us to follow.
When did Lisa start taking her job so seriously? Paimon always thought she was a total slacker.
At what point did you consider her a slacker? She just takes her job nice, slow, and easy. She's done enough work to dictate that she doesn't need to overexert herself, which is why she's so leisurely grabbing late books.
Hey, sweetie. I've heard your elemental sensitivity is very strong. Why not see what you can do?
Elemental set? Use your elemental sight to look for clues!
Okay. I like how I can bump into people's... Oh, there we go. Out of town.
Looking at the elemental traces, it does seem likely that the book was stolen.
So Donna didn't do anything wrong after all.
It's not from the restricted section, so it's hardly a book worth stealing. Whoever wanted this book so badly What a strange fixation indeed.
So, what do we do now?
The elemental traces are very faint, but I can tell that the thief took it beyond the city walls. You must see it too, right, cutie? Let's follow the trail and have a look where our thief was headed, shall we?
Welcome to Mondstadt.
I'm leaving Mondstadt.
The elemental traces are strong here, but it seems our thief did not stay for long. The trail keeps going. Let's keep looking.
Running around,
It's further than I thought. Quite the intrepid explorer. Our little thief.
Maybe we frighten the turtle back inside his shell.
It must be nearby. Using elemental sight, you can even detect magic. Follow the flow of magic to find the book.
the flow. Follow the flow. I wish they did more of these.
The thief lives inside ruins? Mondstadt people do have some strange quirks.
Please do not jump to such a preposterous conclusion about the living habits of Mondstadt's residents. This seems far more likely to be the work of some none-too-friendly troublemakers.
Abyss
It's
Order?
like you can read my mind. This is more likely to be the Abyss Order's doing. They do seem to have a way of slipping in and out of places like ghosts, after all.
That would be incredibly interesting if they have the ability to like slip in and out of like locations through like the ley lines. That would make it much more interesting that there would be Abyss Order agents within the city and Diluc trying to stop them.
Also, there's an elemental seal at the entrance. It looks like the result of an Abyss mage's magic.
I love how there's no real distinction between magic and visions. I'll keep saying that every time they bring up magic.
A seal? How are we gonna break it? Is this gonna turn into another huge ordeal?
Not to worry. If you think a little magic can keep me out, think again.
Why is that?
Yep, just break it.
Come on.
Whoa! So this is what Lisa's like when she's hard at work.
Why do you think she's lazy? Like, it's like the writers are trying to imply that she's lazy, but at no means is it shown that. She's just going about her day. Tail Princess. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the B team.
It's so much bigger in here than Paimon thought. Do Do we really have to go all the way inside?
If you borrow a book, you have to return it. There will be no exceptions.
Got this. Ow.
You're in for a little shock. Blitz.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I'll just save it here.
Come a little closer. Come a little closer. You're in for a little shock. Come a little closer. You've been a naughty boy.
I must leave no stone unturned. La la la. Jumpy dumpy go. What did you do that for? Animal hypostasis emulate as a dutiful maid would.
I just barely succeeded that. Jesus. Oh god.
Look! It's an abyss mage! Lisa was spot on!
Leave it up. Surrender and I'll be gentle. You're in for a little.
Animal test 60. Fine, go! Da da da. La la la. Blazing delight!
Completed.
How did you find this place? It's so well hidden.
I have no interest in finding out where you little rascals hide yourselves away, but I do want my book back. Tell me, how is it that you have the time to conceal your stronghold and apply a magic seal, but not to sign out a library book in the proper manner? You have no respect whatsoever for other people's work.
You just want the book?
I was unaware that anyone in Mondstadt was concerned with unearthing the secret hidden inside this book. Who are you?
The librarian. Although I believe that should be quite clear already. Return the book. This is an ultimatum.
Since you insist on concealing your identity, I have all the less reason to give you that book. After all, it contains the secret. Huh? What are you doing? Such concentrated elemental power! Please don't!
Okay.
Naughty boys who don't do what they're told need a little punishment to keep them in line.
You sort of didn't let him finish speaking.
This is why I call it troublesome work. We'll just need to find the book ourselves. It should be around here somewhere.
Oh, there's more exploring, I see.
It's the Pale Princess and the Six Pygmies. Paimon remembers that name. Is this the one you were looking for?
That's the one. It's a good thing it isn't damaged. Otherwise...
Otherwise what? Are you telling me you have even more crazy punishments up your sleeve?
Of course she does.
I would have probably have needed to dish out a little taste of one of my potions in that case. Then again, as I said, it isn't from the restricted section, which is the only reason I would let the average citizen borrow it in the first place. And it doesn't appear to have any abnormal elemental properties, save for the markings I put on it.
Yeah, it seems like just an average storybook.
As far as my duties as a librarian go, my troublesome work is finished. Since this book has piqued your interest, why don't I let you borrow it?
What's the due date?
There's no time limit for you. I will register you as custodian rather than borrower. This is an exclusive privilege reserved for trusted citizens only.
Exclusive privilege? Why does Paimon feel this is just your sneaky way of offloading your troublesome work onto someone else?
Excuse me? Are you in some way dissatisfied with my work?
No.
Good. You're amenable to reason then. I do wish I could keep you by my side as my personal assistant. My work here is done. I'm going back. Don't forget to register at the library when you have a spare moment.
I'm in a bush. Down with the bushes.
You've returned. The paperwork is done. You are now the custodian of this book.
Thank you, Miss Lisa. But Paimon thinks we're forgetting something.
It's a VAT travel guide.
Look, over there on the shelf. Isn't that the Tavat travel guide? And look how many copies there are.
The Tavat Travel Guide is a serial publication. It is not part of the library's formal collection.
Oh.
Take one. Consider it your compensation for being Lisa's little helper today. With you by my side, my troublesome work was a little less dull than usual.
The Tavat travel guide was just bait to get us to do a day's work.
I hadn't anticipated that a few routine returns inquiries would take us out of the city, let alone down into some underground ruins. As compensation for dragging you into all this bother, take these souvenirs.
Wow! Lisa went and bought
In fact, they were intended for our next outing. But, never mind. We can discuss next time's activity when the time comes. I hope you are looking forward to it.
Alright. Completed. There are various ways to obtain blah blah blah. So I just gained another quest, is what I just read. Go to the Justice for book's sake. So a continuation of the book arc leads us to the Leo's thing for some reason. Alright. Dark Knight Hero. I got 60 Ramo gems. $157. Not quite enough for another one. Slowly but surely we're gaining stuff though.
No matter what kind of environment you may find yourself in, with thorough reconnaissance, you should be to establish a safe route.
What am I missing? Statue of the 7. Have an item forged at the blacksmith. Process 3 ingredients. Enhance an artifact. I'll get to that soon. Level 6 artifact. Craft something using alchemy. Unlock a shrine. This one is visit the statue of the Sea of Clouds, which I can't do yet. Unlock 10 recipes. Clear 3 domains of forgery. Enhance weapon. Level up character to level 40. 3 more times. Open. I've already opened 49 chests while actively avoiding opening chests. Jesus. Enhance 12 artifacts level 4. Hunts down a ruin hunter. Oh, that's gonna be dangerous. Anyway, let's go talk to Huffman. Finish off this Dealey quest, and then that will probably be it for today.
Huffman!
Oh, it's you two. Thank you for coming. So, the Dark Knight Hero. Do you have anything else you're able to share with me?
No.
Is that so? That is a pity indeed. The situation is... Here, take a look at this.
Jeez, what horrible handwriting. Let me take a closer look. Huh? Some parts of this seem to be complete gibberish.
Indeed. Although this is written in the common tongue, it appears that a cipher has been used in many places. Nevertheless, one can grasp the general message from the non-ciphered portions alone. This is a war declaration from the Abyss Order to the Dark Knight Hero.
Does that mean the bad guys want the Dark Knight Hero to go away forever and ever?
Something like that. Thus, we are hoping to contact him as soon as possible so that we can attempt to coordinate a response. After all, this matter no longer concerns merely the Dark Knight Hero himself. It impacts the entire city of Mondstadt.
Okay.
If you find out anything at all, come and find me.
A war declaration sent by the Abyss Order? This is not good news at all for Master Diluc. Quick, we should go tell him right away!
Otherwise, I'll need to help everyone clean their boots and There won't be enough time to prepare a meal.
Entering the winery.
Master Diluc! Just now, we were at the Knights of Avonius, and...
I take it you're about to inform me of the war declaration from the Abyss Order.
Yep.
I'm aware of it. Though I appreciate you for taking the trouble to come all this way.
What?
The Dawn Winery's intelligence network extends beyond commercial matters.
Great! So, what's the plan, Master Diluc?
I'm open to suggestions.
You should just team up with the Knights.
No. That would be playing right into the hands of the Abyss Order.
How so?
They know full well that we don't exactly see eye to eye. They're using this as a means to force me into making an appearance.
What does that change? At all?
If my identity were exposed, all my future activities would be subject to some degree of interference from the Knights.
Okay.
After all, no powerful organization wishes to be outdone by someone from the outside.
As a former Knight, I imagine they'll just let it go. Especially since Varka isn't around, there's really nothing they can do. Jean has so much on her plate everywhere else that I can't imagine she can delegate guards to watch you.
Ooh, the Abyss Order has really dealt you a tough hand this time. What a sneaky little bunch those guys are.
The biggest issue with Diluc's issue with conflict with the Knights of Avonius is that everyone in the Knights at current that we are aware of, at least the people in power, aren't bad people or have anything wrong with them. Jean is overworked but does a good job, has faith, and thinks the best for the city. Eula does the best she can, even though a lot of people hate her, she actually does do good to the city and isn't as bad as anything that Diluc is saying the Knights are about. Albedo is often in the mountains and just out of the way, but when he is in station, he actually does things to improve the situation through his alchemical knowledge. Fucking Hertha just runs the city through commissions, I guess, or I don't remember what Hertha does, but I don't see her being that much of an issue since she isn't apparently a main character in terms of like getting a unique design. None of the people in power, and then there's the only person that is a problem is Kaya. I want to see the other captains so badly. I want to know what they're like that causes, and I want to know what makes Diluc think that even Varka is somehow a problem. If the organization as a whole is bad, then it's the problem of the leaders. But the leaders so far aren't bad at all.
There is a way, but for it to work, I need some more information. Specifically, I need to decipher the obscured portions of the Abyss Order's war declaration.
Obscured portions? You mean the bits Paimon can't read?
It must be a cipher only understood by members of the Abyss Order, used to spread messages within the organization.
If they knew we can't read it, why? What?
It's not simply a war declaration, but also a notification to their own.
Why would their own need it on the What? When you send a threat to a person, that one singular piece of paper doesn't notify, unless you're telling me that there are plants inside the Knights of Avonius. That is the only time that will ever work, is if in the Knights of Avonius themselves, there are plants for the Abyss Order that can read that language. Which would be fascinating. Which would be a cool angle. But that's not the way they're going.
When you take a stand that makes you a hero to one party, you also become a villain to the other. And since I've been the Abyss Order's enemy for so long, they've made me the target around which they can rally their troops and unite their strength.
Why have you and Dainsleif never met?
Wow, Seems like it takes a lot of brains to be a superhero, huh?
He's not a hero. He's not even... I don't understand that I can't believe they tried to copy and paste the Batman story into this. It's just not good.
I understand my enemy well, is all. As the saying goes, heroes and villains are two sides of the same coin.
So what are we gonna do about the intel that's written in gibberish then? How do we un-gibberishify it?
Simple. When you don't understand something, you ask. I've already tracked down one of their strongholds. If you're interested, feel free to come along.
I am interested. Let's go. Let's go destroy some Abyss Mages so I can turn my brain off. Hold on, we have books. If nothing else, it's for the achievement. Now, this is a... D-Luke is okay. I understand he's rich. I understand he was a former knight. A lot of his backstory is interesting, but a lot of what they tried to like copy and paste of the Batman mythology onto him just doesn't work here. Because the government that he's sort of like opposed of isn't really bad at all. They're just like understaffed, and that's honestly Varka's fault. I don't even know. I think that if Varka came back and had nothing to prove that the expedition was worthwhile, that could be something. That could be a dig at him. But at no point does anyone who's currently running Jean as the acting grandmaster, and then any of the other captains that remain, they're doing the best they can with what little soldiers they have.
This is the place. Abandoned ruins like these are precisely the kind of place the Abyss Order likes to camp out. Come on. There's no time to lose. This is the place. Abandoned ruins. Come on.
I hate how their fucking things is just so big. Alright. Let's go fuck him up. Cipher, contexture written. Recommended part of the... Wait, okay. We'll be fine. We have elemental mat. So even when you're lower level, it's always good. It's always fine as long as you have a good balance of party elemental reactions. It always makes up for it. And they even give you like D-Luke. So who is level 28, so everything should be fine for the most part.
Stand clear.
You had your chance.
Dumpy dumpy go. Boing boing boom. La la la.
and materials.
Advanced animal module 75.
I must leave no stone unturned. Time to clean her. I'll catch up.
I think I can break this. Give me this. If it looks breakable, break it.
You had your chance.
Verdict is... Ha! Ha!
Let's keep going, team.
Boing, boing, boom! Jumpy Dumpty go!
Time for retribution! Ha! Ha!
Hello, you.
Neutralizing threats.
Steady as stone.
Always use elemental reactions to deal with these shields.
As a good knight should. I must leave no stone unturned.
How did you find me here, Favonian scum?
This is the second time we've like trapped an abyss mage. Almost as if these like plots could have like easily like overlapped. But enough, as I was playing through Lisa's, and then they forcibly stopped me to do Diluc's, I noticed that the similarities and like once we did a bunch of like he's engaging with the abyss mage, and then an abyss mage apparently stole a book from Lisa. That story really could have just like overlapped very easily.
I am no knight of Favonius. Now start talking. Your plan. What is it?
Which is like a shame because like I think these stories about characters could benefit from supporting characters, instead of just like making like a singular quest about the one person. And it can be into its core, but like having other characters involved to amplify their stories, or like if you don't really want to, if the writers really don't want to explain Lisa as a person, they could make her a side character to Diluc's story, in him fighting the Abyss Mage.
I see you received our letter. But if you think I'm going to let you in on our secrets, I'm afraid you're quite mistaken.
You appear to have misunderstood the situation you're in.
Why am I screaming this?
Did you just use a pyro vision to shoot fire from your hands? It burns!
Why did you explain what we did to you instead of just having him do it?
Let's see how long it takes for you to crack.
Stop! Stop! Please! Pain! I beg you! Make it stop!
Nope, again.
Playing dead won't help you. That fire was nowhere near strong enough to... Oh, hey! You...
It burns! I'll talk. I'll talk. Ow, ow, ow! Please, stop! I'll tell you everything. This order. We've amassed a force bound by a shared hatred for the Dark Knight hero.
Why did he always change?
They will march on the Mondstadt city gates at 10 p.m. tomorrow night. That's everything I know. Please, don't make me suffer those flames again.
That's it? Well, I doubt you'd be foolish enough to keep anything else hidden.
And then we killed him.
Now that I have the information I need, I must prepare. I would be grateful if you could keep me updated on how the Knights of Favonius respond to this matter.
Yes, Master Diluc, sir. Anything you say, Master Diluc, sir.
Why are you acting so strange all of a sudden?
Yeah, I hate it when she gets like this. When she's like afraid of them for some reason.
In light of what just went down here a moment ago, Master Diluc has officially reached #1 on Paimon's People Not to Tick Off Under Any Circumstances list.
So they sort of like repeated this twice. They sort of like took this. Let's say they wrote Diluc first, and they took like the interrogation aspect, and they sort of just like shuffled, like copy and pasted it onto Lisa's story. I think it would have been a more interesting if they combined those stories a little bit, and it would have been a fun little scene where you had Lisa and Diluc playing at interrogation as who is more threatening to this Abyss Mage and when and how they'll get their answers. I don't know. I just feel like a story of that combined would have made more interesting and would have had a lot more dynamic between two characters opposed to Paimon and Diluc. Oh, that's cute. She watches Paimon go away. Alright, and then there's Huffman. All the way over here.
Dodoko, where are you?
If we do not make contact with the Dark Knight hero soon... Ah, it's you two. I must admit, this issue of the Dark Knight hero is proving to be something of a headache. We've just held a meeting to decide on an appropriate course of action. Can you guess what it is?
So, why is... What? Bury our heads firmly in the sand. Why would... I hate how they treat the Knights as join forces with the Dark Knight hero.
No, that would send a signal that the Knights are in favor of the Dark Knight's hero's continued presence in our city, which we are not.
Bullshit.
Encouraging this kind of individual heroism undermines the Knight's authority.
Actually, it doesn't matter though. This is the City of Freedom. If people, I think one of the things that people should be allowed to do in the City of Freedom is defend themselves and defend their streets. Though the Knights operate as a form of order and law, the ability to do so probably would be a lot looser here than most areas.
Oh, well, what's the plan then?
Find out the Dark Knight hero's true identity and offer him our protection.
Protection? He seems to be doing just fine without your protection so far, you know.
Well, since you've aided the Knights in the past, I might as well just tell you. The offer of protection is just a ruse, in order for the Knights of Favonius to take over full and exclusive responsibility for this matter.
You aren't gonna let the Dark Knight hero be all heroic and stuff? Why not?
Firstly, to show the might of the Knights of Favonius, to prove to the people that without the Dark Knight hero, they can still rely on the Knights to maintain peace and harmony. Secondly, the Abyss Order have no mercy in their hearts. If anything happened to the Dark Knight hero, it would only serve to further their nefarious ambitions.
Gosh, Paimon never knew the life of a knight involved so much untold anguish before.
Okay. So they're trying to offer protection, take Diluc in, prevent him from fighting so that they can take care of the matter. But they also state that they're also worried about his well-being.
But none of this will work if we don't establish the Dark Knight hero's true identity in time.
There's no need to despair, Huffman. Just follow my plan, and everything will be fine.
Captain Kaya.
Lately, Master Diluc has been working the bar at the Angel's Share every night. All I need you to do is keep him in your sight. Think you can manage that for me?
Yes, Captain Kaya. But does that mean that Master Diluc is the Dark Knight hero?
Who knows? It's just a hunch. I've been known to be wrong on occasion.
I'm surprised Kai just outright now.
Wow. Paimon feels we saw a whole new side of the Knights of Favonius today. But Paimon doesn't understand. How is Kaya so sure he knows who the Dark Knight hero is?
Because he doesn't do anything to disguise himself.
We need to get to the winery and tell Master Diluc as soon as Paimonly possible.
There's a reason why the comic did it better, is because he actually wore an outfit, and he even wore a delusion which altered his abilities. Just because he used flames, like they were black flames, and he also used chains as well, funny enough, I think. Or he just used the flames themselves, I would forget. But he definitely didn't use his greatsword, which was his signature as a knight. There was a lot of differences. Whoever made that comic was smart. They looked at the situation and was like, this is not working. We need to make sure it's believable because we can't change it. And that's why it works so much better in the comic.
Master Diluc, Paimon has something important to tell you.
The knights are trying to trap you.
Yes. About Kaya.
Yep. Why do we go to him? He just knows.
I should have known he would see this as the perfect opportunity to get back at me.
Sounds like there's a bit of bad blood between you guys then.
I wish that we were in that story. The story where these two had a conflict with each other.
I shan't get into that now. More importantly, the Knights of Favonius are responding more or less as I had anticipated. All we need to do now is think of a counterplan. That won't work. It will only arouse the Knights' suspicion if I don't show up as they're expecting. That's what Kaya is counting on.
So what are we gonna do?
Patience. Let me think for a moment. If they intend to monitor me, then so be it. We can use this to create the perfect alibi.
What's an alabla?
If you want to find out, maybe you can do me a small favor first.
Oh, come on! Why do you love cliffhangers so much?
In Mondstadt, mist flowers are most commonly found in a region just northwest of the winery. If you could gather some for me, I'd be most grateful. I will make other preparations here in the meantime.
Oh, to try and be elaborate. Mist flowers. Let's mist flowers from the bedside of water. Like I said, northwest, but honestly, we're just going.
La la la! Boing, boing, boom! Animal test 6308. Blazing delight! Boom!
Allow me to introduce the winery's master brewer.
So many mist flowers. Great. I can't wait to see how this turns out.
So, are you certain the equipment can withstand this level of purity?
Oh my goodness. The winery owner himself is addressing me directly.
You're the master winemaker. Why wouldn't he?
Don't worry, sir. It is always my honor to serve you, even if it means risking my life.
I don't believe for a second D-Luke doesn't talk to his master winemaker.
Huh? What's so life-threatening about this?
Please, excuse me. I must get to work.
What's he gonna do with a bunch of mist flowers?
Long story short, a few days ago, the winery was experimenting with some new flavors. They wanted to see if mist flower can truly add a crisp and refreshing taste. Sure enough, they discovered that the flower's extract is truly potent.
So the new batch is selling like hotcakes?
No, not potent in terms of attracting customers, but slimes. Slimes need to extract elemental energy to survive. For them, this substance is simply irresistible. So I thought to myself, I wonder how much trouble I could cause now that I know this.
Yikes! What was that noise?
Oh, cold! So cold. Oh, Master D-Luke. Purification complete, sir. But the equipment is...
Marvelous work. Don't fret about the equipment. I shall have my butler order more immediately.
Marvelous! Jolly-ho! Spiffing! Somebody fetch the butler!
This is what I was talking about. Mist flower extract. Or, for our purposes, elemental bait.
Wow! It really has a strong elemental whiff. Can we test it out?
Sprinkle a little on the ground over there. Careful, just a small amount.
Interesting.
And then, how long does it take before... Holy moly, it really does attract slimes! And even more than we expected.
It appears the potency is greater than anticipated. We better get rid of them before they wreak havoc on the manor.
You had your chance.
Animal hypostasis and you... Jumpy Dumpty go!
Neutralizing threats.
Beat the slime. Touch. Oh, there.
La la la! Boing boing boing! Hi-ya! Boom! Woo! Woo! Ooh, such a powerful effect from such a small amount of extract. At least we didn't go picking wildflowers for nothing. All right, so can you tell us what your plan is now, Master D-Luke?
Yes, the plan is... And so, I expect it to all go down without a hitch.
Are you sure it will work? You're the only person in the plan.
I have persevered alone from the start. Now, I alone must face what lies ahead.
Well, if you already made up your mind. But until that moment comes, we can still help you out where we can. Isn't that right?
Sure.
I am indeed indebted to you. I shall see you at the tavern, as per the plan.
Let's wait until evening to meet Master D-Luke at the tavern.
Greetings, Mr. Huffman of the Knights of Favonius. To what do I owe the pleasure at this hour?
Oh, nothing. I'm merely procrastinating. I thought I might indulge myself with a beverage or two. Ah, traveler. Fancy meeting you here.
Oh, we were in the mood for an evening stroll.
What would you like to drink?
I'll have a dandelion wine, I suppose.
Ooh, Paimon wants apple juice. Aw, but Paimon forgot to bring her coin pouch. Do you have any more on you?
Then I must regretfully ask.
Well, in that case, let this.
No need.
I don't need to talk to you. Stop standing next to the door.
Huffman showed up just as expected.
Alright.
Okay, remember the plan? Go to the city's side gate and place the elemental bait.
Yes. Hey guy, I'm going to just do something over here. Don't worry about me.
Whoa! You used all of it! This is gonna be pretty epic. Yikes! Here comes the slimes! Quick, let's get to the tavern before anyone spots us!
I like how we incurred an invasion.
Captain Kaya is no doubt a formidable knight, but he also brings us more than his share of hassle. No, this isn't right. I should not be talking about my superior in such a manner. If he were to overhear me...
We're back! Is my apple juice ready?
Another missed opportunity to give insights into characters. It was just right there. Could have had a serious conversation between D-Luke and this knight about honor and about D-Luke's past, about being a knight, and because like assuming Huffman believes that believes Kaya that D-Luke is the Dark Knight hero, it becomes a conversation game to them, and it could have been a fascinating conversation about their position, the city. It's a perfect opportunity for like scenes like that where you like take this nobody, but he's also a knight, so he has a station, he's important to this story at least, and then you have D-Luke in his perspectives and why he's doing what he's doing, and when you clash those, you have interesting dialogue, which people will pay attention to and not skip over.
One moment.
Mr. Huffman, a situation at the side gate. Everyone to the side gate.
So he's a higher station than this dude for two reasons. His armor has gold plating on it, opposed to this dude, and Mr. Huffman, opposed to, hey, Huffman, we have an issue.
What is it? What happened?
It's slimes, Mr. Huffman.
Slimes? You see them all the time. What's the big panic?
We do, but... Sir, there are more slimes out there now than all the slimes I've seen in my life added together.
Whoa.
Surely this couldn't be the Abyss Order's secret weapon, but I have another matter to attend to here.
Oh? The matter of your dandelion wine?
No, that's not what I meant.
So this is how the Knights of Favonius conduct themselves in a crisis. The Abyss Order is encroaching on the city gates, and your response is to sit here drinking wine?
Yeah. If you had this confrontation immediately after like a tense conversation about the things I just talked about, then this scene becomes incredibly interesting. Like there's dialogue can amplify a story. It's not just the slimes are superficial. The fighting is for the fun's sake. But when you have a story in a video game, this is the types of moments you want to add in that really interesting shit, where people their ideologies and shit are clashing, and that's why you become invested in the story, is when people are doing and saying things that are interesting.
It's like I've always said, the knights are not to be trusted.
Master Diluc is right. My conduct here has been below par. I shall set off at once. But first, may I have a quiet word?
Huh?
Shh, keep your voice down. I presume you know what this is about. Please watch Diluc for me. Do not let him leave under any circumstances. I must head to the side gate, but I'll be back shortly. I'm counting on you.
Good. That's him out of the way.
Everything's going according to plan.
I must get going too. I won't have a second to spare if I'm to be back in time.
Damn it, Joe! Stop blocking the fucking thing.
Ah, there you are.
Look at him. No costume. He's just walking out there with his bare hands and his weapon.
Will be the easy part.
And I will admit, this is a really cool cutscene. And we need more of this too. We have Diluc fighting the enemy out in the open like this, in the overworld. You could have had the whole scene where they talked about the Hilly Trolls attacking the city during the Storm Terror incident. You could have had us playing as Kaya during his following of the Abyss Order, or Amber during the conflict, and other adventurers and knights doing things in the overworld. There's a way to, even in this gacha game, there is a way to do things like this to amplify the story, and then when people are playing characters they don't have, then it becomes interesting to them. Because they'll want to like play them more, because then they'll buy them because if they have their chance to play them, it's like, oh, this was really cool, this was really fun.
Classic Master Diluc. Not a baddie left standing.
Nothing more than a few hilly churls. No time to chat. I don't know how long those slimes will keep Huffman occupied. Best get back to the tavern.
Glad that's settled. Let's get back to the tavern. You think Huffman is back yet?
And my biggest points about like when I talk about like things like that is like every character in those like special scenes is playable as a normal character. Right? These characters, there's nothing different the Traveler can do than what every other character can do in terms of like the jumping, the fighting. Though there's like unique differences to like each character, they play the same in terms of like you have the exact same mechanics, attacking, your skill, your burst. Everything is across all of the characters equally, and there's nothing really stopping you from like deviating away from the main character and showing these characters moments, showing them being their characters and doing their things. I would love to play an entire arc. The summertime arcs that they had should not have like had the Traveler at all. You could have just like had it be Klee's arc and have it play as her, some of the other knights. The second one especially, I believe, just should have been like a Bennett, Razor, official, and Mona should have just been the Benny's Adventure Team type of adventure to the Summer Isles, the Summertime Odyssey events, and that would have been fascinating to see, just like the 4 of those characters and their backstories and all the things that happened there. It would have been you could have told a more interesting story without focusing on the main character who didn't need to be there.
It seems Huffman hasn't yet returned. He made it in time.
The situation is sorted now. I never expected that the Abyss Order's army would turn out to be nothing more than a few slimes.
That is a surprise. Perhaps the Knight's true calling is to be slime exterminators. Who knows? Domestic pest control may turn out to be a more valuable use of your resources.
And what a dick D-Luke is being right now.
Master D-Luke, please, have you no respect at all? How come you're sweating so much? You didn't leave, did you? Is that so? But why now, of all times, for the love of Barbados?
Uh-oh, Huffman is getting...
Excuse me, sir. Might I be so bold as to inquire, did you see Master D-Luke, today's bartender, did you see him leave just now?
Yikes! He's asking other customers! We're done for!
Master D-Luke? Why, no. He's been behind the bar this entire time.
I see.
Mr. Huffman, your dandelion wine. You ought to get back after this. Send my regards to the rest of the Knights.
Oh, never mind. I must be going. I should report back. Here, take this as a token of my esteem. How odd.
Whew, that was too close. Paimon was sure we were toast.
I foresaw this eventuality. So, all the guests here tonight, save you two, are my own people from the Dawn Winery.
They're all in on it?
Not all of them. Or should I say, not all of us.
Kaya, where did you come from?
I just picked a good spot to quietly sit and watch the show.
Hilarious.
What? You've been here this whole time?
Correct. The Dark Knight Hero's Alibi. I think it's my favorite chapter so far. More intriguing than a fine wine.
So, you plan to report everything to the Knights of Favonius?
Come now, D-Luke. You know me better than that. I have no interest in exposing secrets. I was just curious to see how far Mondstadt's Dark Knight hero would really go. And you did not disappoint.
I have nothing to prove to you.
There's this animosity here, and I wish it amounted to anything more. It doesn't go beyond this point. This is probably the last, I believe this is the last time these two sort of have a conflict in the story up in Genshin. I don't think any of the events involve them together again after this point. I wish there was more.
Oh, naturally. I must say, though, one thing I didn't see coming is that the mighty Dark Knight hero would actually need help from other people.
Sorry, we're closing. Please see yourselves out.
All right, all right. I have no further need of wine to entertain myself tonight in any case. Just one last thing before I go.
It had better be the very last thing.
I feel strangely comforted by the fact you now have an assistant, D-Luke. I hope you all have a wonderful night.
What was all that about?
Don't mind him. Thank you for all your help with this matter. This is a token of my gratitude.
Wow! Thanks, Master D-Luke.
I'm in the habit of working alone. But I did enjoy having your assistance this time. In the future, if there's anything you ever need, you can come to me for help.
Finally, it's completed. Alright. So, there were a lot of elements of that story that were interesting. Like I said, the copy-paste Batman arc doesn't really work. But in the characters that were provided for the story, Huffman and Kaya, it would make sense if it was like Kaya's division. That was the more of the issue, but D-Luke is so blinded by whatever to see that it isn't the whole of the Knights.
Verifying our current position.
I think it would be interesting if I think it would have been more interesting if they sort of delved into the whole, like, what they did for the comic with D-Luke using a delusion, and then it becomes an issue for both of them. It's like, sometimes the Knights, at least Kaya's division, isn't so trustworthy, and then there's D-Luke's issue with using a delusion and doing things so dangerously and such. But for the most part, it was okay. And then I honestly think that it'd be interesting to, like, take that story and combine it with Lisa's one to a degree, like have her involved with looking for a book, which led to, or at least have like Lisa have going it on her own. Actually, would have been interesting. Is like having characters doing, when you have this, like, these characters, interconnected stories. Lisa looking for her lost books, and then she finds that one is been taken, and that one has, like, the information about the ambush, and that could have led to an interrogation with her and D-Luke crossing paths. It becomes a much better thing. Honestly, I think the Traveler's involvement in the story after the main story, because, like, in the ending of the thing, the Traveler is told to go to Liyue, and he's even rushed off to Liyue. He's like, we're gonna miss the coming down of the Chiyu Archon once a year, and so they're, like, rushing him off to Liyue. After the main story, I feel like in side quests it should be more prudent to have him not involved at all, to fill the world, not to have him, like, meet every single character. Aether does not need to meet every single character. He does not. The friends he makes along the way should be during the main arc, because those are the ones that matter. That's the story that they should be telling in these main arcs. This should be the Traveler's story, and then these should be individual stories for each of these characters. Amber's story should have just been on her own. Kaya was well, it worked well with the Traveler. I wish he had his, like, Lisa, D-Luke, and Kaya having, like, an interconnected story going on here is fascinating. If all three of them, with all three of their parts together, it's like they, like, Kaya and D-Luke butting heads over as the Knight and the Dark Knight hero. Lisa having her own little thing, but somehow solving the whole translation issue and, like, alerting both of them, hey, the attack is happening here. It becomes more a bigger story regarding the characters of Mondstadt, instead of a Batman ripoff and a date to find books and whatever. Kaya's was to uncover things, which was fine on its own, but it would have been funny enough for him to do that with Amber as well, because Amber's thing is that there was a thief, and Kaya is on the lead, and then you can combine that story as well. There's so many ways to make use of your characters and have them interact with each other, and then you start seeing different sides of them with different people. Kaya and D-Luke are adversarial. Kaya and Lisa could be, like, flirty a little. Amber and Kaya is, like, big brother, little sister, angry at each other all the time. It would have been... and then you can have, at certain points, D-Luke team up with Amber at some point, and he, like, respects her drive to be an outrider, despite being a Knight of Favonius. You could have so many interactions if you just focused on the characters and combining their stories and actually making interesting plots where each of them is doing something. And that you fill the world that way by having the characters do things. Anyway, I've ranted long enough about that. It will never stop. I will never stop finding this an issue, and I may have pointed out several more times along the way, especially as time goes on. I will just keep driving this home until either I get shunned off the internet or I finally get it out of my system. Next stream, I will be doing a Animoculus gathering. So I will be doing an entire stream where I will be having my map open, and I will be my Hoyoverse map, and I will be basically going to each of the locations and finding all of the Animoculi for the statues. That will be the objective that I will be trying to achieve next stream. So look forward to that, and then after that I'll probably do a chest run, and then after that, who knows. Alright. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.